Chapter 19. But what was certain was that the current Qing family was also very powerful. It was one of the largest groups in the country. Unfortunately, there were no men in the Qing family in this generation, only 2 women. Although their talents were not bad, they were still women after all. In the future, they would also have to marry someone. Marrying a woman from the Qing family was equivalent to marrying a mountain of gold and silver, and could even become the object of envy for men. Yi Hua was the man who married Qing family's woman. Unfortunately, it was all for the sake of the child in the woman's stomach, and he didn't have any feelings for her at all. The air in the suburbs was a lot fresher. Yi Hua opened the window and narrowed his eyes. Your family sure is rich, to even specially build a road. Yi Hua said lightly. Qingye let out a breath. Having a lot of money is also a problem. I can help you relieve your worries. Yi Hua said faintly. Yi Hua, do you really have the nerve to use my money? You are a man, don't you know how to earn money yourself? Qingye couldn't help but lecture. Although I am able to support him for my entire life, I don't want to see him not thinking about improving himself. Yi Hua rubbed his temple, and his tone was still as calm as before. I'm just bored. Hee, can you not act cool? Qingye, your acting is much deeper than mine, right? Right when the 2 of them were preparing to quarrel with each other, a red Ferrari F12 whizzed by, sweeping up a bunch of leaves, and one of the leaves even landed on Yi Hua's shoulder. According to the custom from 5 years ago, this car would be sliced into 2 halves by Yi Hua using tree leaves. Qingye wrinkled her eyebrows as she stared at the Ferrari in front of her. Her beautiful eyes revealed out a bit of energy as she fiercely stepped on the accelerator. After all, Audi A8 was used for business purposes. How could it be a match for Ferrari F12? Qingye could not even see the back of the car anymore, and unwillingly, she slowed down the car's speed. That fiancé of yours? Yi Hua asked faintly. No, but I'm more annoyed than that man. Yi Hua's interest seemed to have been piqued. To be able to become the target of Qingye's anger, I reckon that this person should be someone important, right? Tell me. She is my half-sister Qing Yutong. Qingye said coldly, seemingly not having a good relationship with this little sister of hers. However, Yi Hua became even more interested. Is it that celebrity Qing Yutong? Is there a second one? That's not right. Do you have feelings for her? According to Qingye's understanding of Yi Hua, this man indeed isn't interested in ordinary beauties. However, the person that he took the initiative to speak about was only his own sister. Yi Hua nodded his head. Of course I do. However, I didn't come to Qing Bar in person, and instead, I waited for her big sister to come over. Thinking up to here, Yi Hua laughed. This is the benefit of not being in control. Everything is filled with surprises and surprises. A layer of frost instantly covered Qingye's face as she said in a deep voice. You're my husband now. It's not appropriate for you to have thoughts about my sister-in-law in front of me, right? What's inappropriate about it? It's normal for a man and a woman to be in love. You're comfortable, but you don't want your sister to be comfortable? TSS. The tires left behind black marks on the ground, and Qingye's expression became a bit colder, looking as if she wanted to perish together with Yi Hua. Say that again. Do you want to quarrel with me again? Yi Hua asked coldly. You're the one who wants to fight. You're my husband now. Yi Hua couldn't help but take out a cigarette and lit it up. There's no doubt that I'm your husband. Then you're still having thoughts about my sister? Qingye questioned angrily. I never force anyone. That day, you also did it willingly. If your sister were to deliver herself to me, I wouldn't reject her. Yi Hua straightforwardly made it clear. Yi Hua rather admired Qing Yutong. 5 years ago, Qing Yutong was a small character that gradually became an international superstar. Yi Hua had witnessed the entire process. If it was changed to his own world, Qing Yutong would definitely be a supreme existence. Hearing Yi Hua's promise, Qingye let out a sigh of relief. Don't worry, she won't feed you like how I fed you. What if? I'll give you condoms, Qingye said fiercely. Haha. Yi Hua let out a hearty laugh. Although this woman would make me angry at times, but sometimes she also seems to be very… What is she? Using humans' words, she should be cute, right? Forget it, she's just stupid. You're still laughing. I'm going to fight it out with you. To be honest, Yihua wasn't good at fighting like this. Facing against Qingya's pinching tactics, Yihua didn't have the strength to fight back at all. Qingya discovered that Yihua didn't fight back, and became even more insatiable. Enough! Yihua couldn't help but shout out. Enough is enough! Qingya snorted, then started the car, and drove towards the manor that was not far away. There were 2 security guards standing outside the black iron gate. Just that, the security guard's attire was of a higher class than Wei Chang's attire, at least reaching the level of a suit. Big miss, Qingya said coldly. Open the door. The 2 security guards foolishly looked at Qingya driving into the manor, and even after a few minutes, they still didn't react. Big Miss seems to have changed. One of the security guards said blankly. And she became even more beautiful than Second Miss. However, I feel that Second Miss it is still better to conquer her. After all, Second Miss is now an international superstar. Indeed, there is nothing to say about Second Miss's figure. But who is that man? Isn't Big Miss's fiancé already here? I feel that there will be a good show to watch today. That man just now seemed to be very awesome. Yihua, who was sitting in the car, laughed again. He had heard the conversation between the security guards. And when Qingya saw Yihua laughing, she felt unhappy. She was definitely thinking of dirty things. Those 2 security guards are comparing you with Qing Yutong. Humph! Qingya snorted. Although my little sister's reputation is great, I am not just for show. The manor's architecture leaned towards European style. There was a rockery fountain at the entrance of the house, showing off a sense of grandeur. There was also a helicopter at the side, and that Ferrari F12 from just now was already parked at the side. Within the helicopter, there was also a Rolls-Royce and a Bentley, just that there was a Passat parked at the side, making it seem a bit low-class. When Qingya saw that Passat, her eyebrows slightly wrinkled. I didn't expect that Long Outyan would come so early. This car is even provided by the company. This man sure is impatient. When are you going to provide me with a car? Yihua said after closing the car door. In any case, I just want to see Qingya get angry. This is simply too stupid, Qingya said petulantly. Isn't the card with you? If you want to buy something, go and buy it yourself. I wonder how much the most expensive car costs. Yihua said in a low voice. And Qingya almost sprained her leg, this bastard. Yihua, please stop messing around. We are already at my house. Listen to my arrangements for everything. Alright. Qingya sighed. I hope that I don't screw up later on. Qingya could be seen walking to the front of Yihua, then lightly tidied up her collar with both of her hands until she was satisfied, then held onto Yihua's arm, and walked towards the door. Yihua's brows slightly wrinkled. That moment just now was very strange. It seems like I am not that lonely anymore. Chapter 20. After opening the door and entering the house, Yihua couldn't help but sigh with emotion. This woman's family is not just ordinary rich, but only this kind of family would be able to bring up this kind of woman. If he was not mistaken, the flooring should be sandalwood. 1 square meter cost around a few thousand yuan. For such a big house, just the flooring alone was not a small expense, not to mention the other furniture, which would cost at least hundreds of thousands, and at most millions. Your family sure is rich. Yihua said faintly. Qingya said lightly. I'm all right. This woman was starting to show off again. It seemed like she couldn't be praised. Young miss, you're finally back. An old man who was wearing butler attire could be seen walking over with a smile. When the old man saw Yihua, the old man went into a slight daze, but very quickly, the old man returned back to his original expression. Qingya revealed out a light smile. Uncle Fu. Second Miss and Mr. Long have arrived, Uncle Fu said with a smile. Qingya nodded her head, then took out a pair of ladies' slippers from the shoe cabinet and gracefully took off her high heels. Uncle Fu sighed with emotion. The young miss seemed to be a little different than before. She seemed to be even more beautiful. Shoes, Yihua said faintly. Qingya really wanted to give him a slap. Is there anyone like you who acts like a big boss? You even want me to take your shoes. However, when he saw that Yi Hua was holding so many gifts in his hands, he reluctantly decided to help him this once. This time, it was Uncle Fu's turn to be surprised. The young miss was actually squatting on the ground to help him change his shoes. Who was this man? A friend? Probably not that close. Boyfriend? That shouldn't be the case. The young Miss fiancé was still sitting inside, and his identity had been confirmed by the old master. It's too small, Yi Hua said faintly. Qingya almost flipped out. Don't think that you can be like this just because you are the father of the child. Uncle Fu smiled and said, Sir, I'll help you find it. Please wait a moment. No need, Uncle Fu. There's another pair here. This time, Yi Hua was finally able to pass through Qingya's body, and he no longer had any reason to make things difficult for Qingya. Eldest Miss, sir, please come in. Qingya was a little nervous. After all this time, I came here to lay my cards on the table and refused to be an obedient girl. Uncle Fu, is my mother back? Qingya asked. Master, madam, and second madam are all back, Uncle Fu said. Yi Hua was a little curious. What does the second madam mean? Originally, I thought that Qingya's mother had already passed away. After all, Qingya had said that Qing Yutong was her half-sister. But from the looks of it, that was not the case at all. Her father actually had 2 women, and he even openly brought them home. Interesting. How refreshing. Seeing that Yi Hua was smiling, Qingya immediately knew what Yi Hua was thinking about, and she angrily stomped on Yi Hua. A layer of slipper mark appeared on Yi Hua's pair of pure white socks, and his misophobia immediately erupted. Do you want to quarrel here? Yi Hua said coldly. This woman is getting too arrogant. How could Yi Hua tolerate the stain on his socks? He couldn't help but want to chop it off. Give me a pair of socks. You. Qingya was also very angry. Isn't it just a bit darker? Was there a need to make such a fuss? Quickly go. Yi Hua said gravely. I can't tolerate this for even half a minute. Uncle Fu hurried over. Sir, please wait a moment. Uncle Fu, don't pay attention to him. Qingya was starting to get angry. Right now, it is true that I will change it. But what about in the future? He was even more insatiable. Big miss. Yi Hua's gaze became colder and colder, to the point that he seemed like he was about to go berserk. Qingya, this is the last warning to you. Then this is the last warning to you too. I am not your servant. I am your wife. My patience is limited. Uncle Fu's eyes opened wide, as if he had seen Thanos invading the earth. Big Miss actually said that. She is my wife. What is going on? This was the first time that Yi Hua had seen such an arrogant woman, and he was simply about to explode from anger. If not for the child in my stomach. Take off your socks. Yi Hua took a few deep breaths and controlled his anger. In recent years, my temper has become better and better. If it was in the past, I would have already started massacring. Yo, this man actually gave in. I thought that he was going to fight me to the end. Since you took a step back, then I will also take a step back. Qingya obediently squatted down and took off Yi Hua's socks. Only then did Yi Hua's anger calm down. Uncle Fu felt that his world was changing. What is going on with Big Miss? She even bent down and helped this man take off his socks. In the future, you better not talk back to me. My temper is not good. Yi Hua said coldly. Qingya snorted. I am a pregnant woman. You better not make me angry. Pregnant woman. Uncle Fu had a feeling that he was going to faint. My God. Are they acting for me to see? Or are they really going to do it for real? But isn't their aura a little too strange? Both of them don't like to talk to each other, yet they are so intimate with each other. I hope that Big Miss won't go overboard today. My grandfather and master have been worried to death because of this matter. The corridor was not very long, and as Uncle Fu pushed open the double doors, a few people appeared in front of Yi Hua. Those few people also looked towards Yi Hua, and their gazes seemed as if they were looking at Yi Hua's real body. Long Outyin came early in the morning. Of course, his purpose was very clear, and that was to curry favor with Qing family's people, check their pulse, and tell them some things to keep in good health. Qingya's grandfather was 80 years old this year, and his body had all kinds of chronic illnesses. However, ever since Long Outyin appeared, All of his illnesses were controlled, and even slowly became better. Also his wife, son, and 2 daughters-in-law were all cured by Long Outyen. I didn't expect that my old comrade would have such a formidable grandson. If Qingye and him were to become a couple, it would definitely be Qing family's fortune. Outyen, how are you getting along with Qingye? Qing Chungren drank the tea brewed by his wife, Wang Muqing, and asked with a smile. Long Outyen's looks were rather good, and could be considered to be able to squeeze into the ranks of handsome guys. His casual attire was also very clean, but it was lacking a bit of prestige. But this was not a problem. And right now he was looking at the big celebrity Qing Yutong. Just now when Qing Yutong walked in, he was still dumbstruck. Why would the big celebrity Qing Yutong come here? So she is actually Qingye's younger sister, born from the second wife, Zihan. Now that he saw Qing Yutong in person, he was simply too happy. Her temperament was otherworldly and refined, just like a fairy. She wore a white long dress, revealing a small portion of her lotus-like arms. Her beautiful hair, that was as soft and smooth as a waterfall. Her beautiful eyes that had a clear distinction between black and white were extremely clear, just like spring water, not containing the slightest bit of impurities. Her elegant sitting posture reflected her good upbringing, and the curves that were revealed were even more alluring. Her figure even more so made people's heart beat faster, wishing that they could immediately kneel down and lick her thighs. From head to toe, not a single flaw could be found. She is simply the best among women. No, this is already at the fairy level. Chapter 21. Outyen. Qing Chungren called out once again, but there wasn't any displeasure on his face. Only then did Long Outyen come back to his senses. He apologized. Grandpa Qing, I'm sorry, I was too surprised. Yutong is too beautiful. As Qing Yutong's mother, Zihan said tenderly, Outyen is so talented, but it is a pity that our Yutong doesn't have this fortune. Long Outyen was elated. Mother-in-law, don't stand on ceremony. I Long Outyen can accept all of them. Qing Yutong took a glance at this man with contempt, then let out a ridiculing cold snort. This expression, this cold snort, is simply too similar to Qingye. Oh right, Aotian, why didn't you come back with Qingye? Wang Muqing asked concernedly. It must be said that Qingye's father, Qing Huaxian, has very good eyesight. His 2 wives are very beautiful, and even at this age, as long as they dress up a bit, when they go out, they will definitely look like sisters. With just a look, one can tell that Qing Huaxian is a man who knows how to enjoy. Long Outyen paused for a moment. Qingye has been busy with work recently, so she asked me to accompany you guys first. She will be arriving soon. I saw big sister coming over with a man, Qing Yutong suddenly said, causing Long Outyen's expression to darken. Qing Huaxuan's gaze sunk. Man. Yeah, he's not bad looking, more handsome than him. Qing Yutong pointed at Long Outyen and said. The latter even had the heart to kill someone. I am the fairy doctor. My left hand can cure people, and my right hand can kill people. Who dares to steal Long Outyen's woman? You're even more handsome than me. All of you must die. Wang Muqing's face immediately became cold. This point of hers was inherited from her mother. Outyen, don't worry. Qingye, this child is very stubborn. I don't know where she hired this actress from. Long Outyen thought to himself. It better be an actor or else. What did you say? Yaya brought my grandson-in-law back. Where is he? An old granny could be seen shouting excitedly, and looking left and right. She was precisely Qingye's grandmother, Mei Xuanshuang. Mei Xuanshuang had severe senile dementia, and sometimes, she would even mistake her husband, Qing Chungren, and only remember her 2 granddaughters in her heart. Grandma's words were like a few sharp swords that pierced Long Outyen's heart. My grandson-in-law is sitting right in front of you, and you're actually asking where he is. However, Grandma's Alzheimer's disease was too serious. She couldn't cure it immediately, and had to be nursed slowly. You're lying. You didn't see it at all. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Long Outyen almost turned into a porcupine. Mom, Qingye's fiancé is sitting right in front of you, Wang Muqing said while supporting her mother. Impossible. My grandson-in-law isn't as ugly as him. Mei Xuanshuang pursed her lips and said with disdain. Long Outyan's face turned green. What was going on today? He was the main character today. This must be a test from the heavens. I can't be angry, smile, smile. Mei Xuanshuang couldn't stand it anymore. Who are you? Why are you smiling so ugly? Qing Yutong let out a series of tender laughter. Grandma is truly formidable, killing people without spilling blood. Zihong glared at her daughter. She was still laughing at this time. Qing Chunren said embarrassedly, Outyan, don't mind it. You also know about my wife's illness. Long Outyan forced a smile and said, Grandpa Qing, don't worry. I'll definitely cure Grandma. Qing Chunren was very gratified. With such a grandson-in-law, he could also feel a lot more at ease. Qing Yutong could be seen arriving behind her grandmother, then said tenderly, Grandmother, I just saw big sister's man. He is extremely handsome. Really? Mei Xuanshuang asked happily like a child. Of course, when did Yutong ever lie to you? Mei Xuanshuang said joyfully. That's great, Yutong. When are you two going to give birth to a little grandson for Grandma? Everyone immediately became silent. Even Wang Muqing also laughed for a bit. Brother-in-law has to be willing first. Qing Yutong said straightforwardly, causing everyone to be dumbstruck once again, especially Long Outyan. What the hell? What kind of plot is this? Qing Huaxian shouted coldly. Qing Yutong, what are you saying? Look at your current moral conduct. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have allowed you to mingle in the entertainment circle. Qing Yutong spread out her hands and said disapprovingly, Dad, since you can marry too, why can't other people marry too? Scoundrel! Say it one more time. Qing Huaxian was so angry that his face turned red. Towards him having 2 wives and 2 daughters, the number of times he returned home in a year could be counted with one hand. Yutong, your dad is already angry, speak less. Zihan reprimanded her daughter. This kind of scene would happen every time they met. Long Outyan felt that what Qing Yutong said was right. A man with ability should have 3 wives and 4 concubines. Isn't father-in-law the same as well? Qing Chunren shouted gravely. Speak less. This time, I asked you two to come back for a meal. I should be happy, and not to listen to you two quarrel. Every family has their own difficulties. Qing family was the same as well. Outyan, don't take offense. Qing Chunren said to Long Outyan with a smile. This child is much more sensible now. I can understand. Long Outyan said humbly. Only a man understands a man. To obtain a favorable impression from Qing Huaxian. If Qing Huaxian were to know that this Long Outyan was having ideas on his 2 daughters, who knows if he would still have such thoughts? Qing Yutong muttered in a low voice. Men are all the same. Right at this moment, the door of the living room was pushed open, and Yi Hua and Qing Ye's figure appeared in front of everyone's eyes, causing them to be dumbstruck. My grandson-in-law is here. My grandson-in-law is here. Mei Xuanshuang could be seen shouting loudly, pulling everyone back from their shock. The atmosphere was filled with awkwardness, as if it was going to solidify. Yi Hua looked at the big family indifferently. Hearing the words that the old granny shouted out, he wished that he could throw a magic spell over. Grandson-in-law, you are thinking too much. Under everyone's astonished gaze, Qing Ye brought Yi Hua to the center of the living room and introduced. He is called Yi Hua. He is my husband. Hello, brother-in-law. Without waiting for everyone to come back to their senses, Qing Yutong immediately jumped out, and was the first to acknowledge Yi Hua's identity. Because she wanted to see her father's angry look. It would be best if it was the kind where he flipped out. Yi Hua sized up Qing Yutong for a bit. She was not as excited as I thought she would be. She was very different from how she looked on the screen. Although her figure was not bad, the way she dressed was lacking a bit of charm. This point of Qing Ye was better than her. If she had asked for it herself, I might have given her a chance, which is also a kind of affirmation towards her. Qing Yutong could see disdain from this man's eyes, and even pity could be seen. Damn, what is this situation? This man is even more awesome than that Long Outyan. Qing Ye, do you know what you are saying? Wang Muqing stood up and shouted. This daughter of mine is becoming more and more impudent. She really invited an actor to our house. Qing Chunren looked at Long Outyan, who had an ashen face, and said with a smile. Outyan, Qing Ye is just joking, don't mind her. Chapter 22. Don't worry, Grandpa Qing. I know what I'm doing. Long Outyin said generously. It seemed like he didn't take it to heart at all. Qing Chunren laughed out loud and said, as expected of the old dragon's grandson, impressive. Qingya, look at Outyin, look at how sensible he is. You are the only one who is playing tricks. Wang Muqing reprimanded. Zihan also followed up and said, that's right, Qingya. Outyin is such a good child, why don't you feel anything? As Qingya's father, Qing Huaxian was already angered to the point that he was speechless. As long as I see my two daughters, my heart disease will definitely come out. Luckily, Long Outyin cured my heart disease. Qingya didn't seem to intend to reveal her little king and big king. And while looking at her little sister, she said with a smile, it just so happens that little sister has returned. Grandpa, how about letting little sister marry Long Outyin? Qing Yutong went into a daze, and her pretty face immediately became one of grievance. As expected of a movie empress. Sis, you can't do this. You jumped out of the fire pit, and you let your sister jump into it. Why don't we swap? Give me brother-in-law, and you can be with Long Outyin. Long Outyin almost vomited blood. You, how dare you humiliate me like this? This is unforgivable. Enough. Qing Huaxian slammed onto the table and shouted. Family scandal. A family scandal. Huaxian. The two wives called out worriedly. At this moment, Mei Xuanshuang walked over to Yi Hua's side with her walking stick and said in satisfaction, young man, you are really handsome. You have to treat Qingya well in the future. Mei Xuanshuang pulled Qing Yutong, who was at the side, over to Yi Hua, then placed Qing Yutong's tender and small hands onto Yi Hua's big hands. You two live well. Grandma has high hopes for you too. There was complete silence. Long Outyan's face started to turn pale. This man did not even say a single word the moment he entered the room. Instead, he held the hands of his two future wives. This was unacceptable. No. This man wanted her to act cool. There would definitely be a turn for the better later. He must have exposed his plot. And then they would look at him in a different light. And from there walk to the top. Mu Qing, help Mom into the room to rest. Qing Huaxian could not take it anymore. Things are getting more and more messy. Wang Muqing and Zishuan immediately supported their old mother and left, while Mei Xuanshuang kept reminding them, you must live well. Grandma will come back later. Qingya looked at Yi Hua and her little sister very unhappily and said in a low voice, what are you two doing? Hurry up and let go. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth. Grandma did it, not me. The human world is truly very complicated. What kind of matter can't be solved with force? On the other hand, this sister-in-law of his was rather interesting. Yi Hua asked faintly, what do you mean by drawing circles on my palm just now? Right now, even Qingya was stupefied. Not only Qingya, even Qing Yutong was stupefied. He actually said it. She just wanted to tease this brother-in-law and let her sister know that men couldn't resist temptation. In the end, this man didn't play by the rules and instantly betrayed her. Long Outyan's face turned from white to red. He thought to himself, there's definitely going to be a reversal. There's definitely going to be one later. Fortunately, Qing Yutong was quick-witted, and she hurriedly explained, actually, what I wanted to ask is, when are you two getting married? And how are the preparations for the wedding rings going? You don't have to worry about that. Qingya replied faintly, how can I not worry about my sister's wedding? Don't you think so, brother-in-law? On the other hand, Qing Yutong was rather lively. Yi Hua had only seen the Qing Yutong on the screen before. She was a bit cold and aloof. I didn't expect that the contrast between the Qing Yutong and Qing Yutong in reality would be so big, causing Yi Hua to be very disappointed. Indeed, you don't have to worry about it. Yi Hua replied faintly, F***ck, this brother-in-law is really not giving me any face at all. On the other hand, Qingya felt great. Seems like Yi Hua is on my side. He can still be considered as a man. Qing Chunren coughed lightly and said, alright, stop acting, since you are here. You are a guest, eat a meal first before leaving. Qing family was, after all, a prestigious family. They still had the necessary etiquette. Those who come are guests. As long as they don't do anything out of line, eating a meal is nothing. Furthermore, this man might have been forced here by Qingya. Qingya didn't explain anything. It seemed like she had a deeper intention. This made everyone think that Qingya had given up on resisting. However, Qing Yutong didn't think that way. She understood her big sister very well. Sometimes, she is indeed very obedient, but when she is stubborn, even 10 Thanos wouldn't be able to defeat her. Since she brought this man here, she definitely has a backup plan, just that she doesn't need to use it now. Looking at everyone's reaction, they all eased up, especially Long Outyin. I suddenly feel that this man is really pitiful, being played around by Big Sister. I reckon that when Big Sister uses her big move, this Long Outyin will be carried away by 120 people. Big Sister's bad habit of acting cool still hasn't changed. Yihua also didn't want to say too much and waste the oxygen in the air. Brother-in-law, what is your zodiac sign? In order to test her big sister, Qing Yutong took the initiative to attack. Yihua sat on the sofa and put on the posture of a big boss. Hearing Qing Yutong's question, he replied faintly, childish. Qingya, who was sitting on the opposite of him, laughed. This man will hit you until you have nothing good in you. I didn't expect that the woman that I fancied would actually ask such a question. She is simply even more stupid than Qingya. And to think that I wanted to give her a knight, seems like there is no need for that anymore. Indeed, you are rather childish. Qingya didn't forget to hit Yihua. Qing Yutong was angered to the point that her face was completely red. After snorting, she sat at the side and didn't speak anymore. Long Outyin straightened his collar. It's my turn now. This man will become my tool to act cool. This is how all the novels come about. How much did Qingya spend to hire you? Long Outyin asked curiously. Qingya peeled a tangerine and gave half of it to her grandfather. Qing Chungren thought that his granddaughter had thought things through and took the tangerine, then said petulantly, "It's fine to just anger Outyin. Don't go overboard." "Grandfather, I know what I am doing." Qingya smiled slightly. This made Qing Chungren feel at ease. Granddaughter is sensible. Meanwhile, Yihua was very unhappy. As my own woman, she actually peeled a fruit for another man to eat. Even if it's your grandfather. Taking out a cigarette and lighting it up, this action made Qing Chungren and Qing Huashuan's brows wrinkle. This man is a bit arrogant. Looking at how Yihua is acting cool, Long Outyin laughed. To actually put on the posture of a big boss in Qing family, and even smoke. Looking at Grandpa Qing and father-in-law's expression, I reckon that they want to throw him out. What did you say just now? Yihua asked faintly. Long Outyin had seen people who can act cool before, but he had never seen someone who can act cool like this. This posture of a big boss is something that even I don't dare to do in Qing family. Qingya hired you to anger me, right? Long Outyin asked again. N number of ways to get rid of him appeared in Yihua's mind. Do you think that you are playing house? Childish. Yihua spat out a mouthful of smoke and said faintly. Qingya ate the tangerine, looked at Yihua, who was acting cool, and said with a smile, "Indeed, you are rather childish." Yihua looked at Qingya and said coldly, "I am talking about you." Chapter 23. Qingya's expression turned cold. This fellow wants to stir up trouble. I will endure it for now. Qing Chungren shook his head. I really can't stand this youngster's way of chatting. Huaxian, let's go out and have a chat, it's stuffy here. Okay, Dad. Qing Huaxian said unhappily. If not for my daughter bringing him here, I would have chased him out long ago. This is too presumptuous. In an instant, there were only 4 people left in the living room. Long Outyin sneered. What benefits did ya, or give you to make you work so hard for her? To be honest, Yihua didn't want to answer such a stupid question. You ask her yourself. Qing Yutong went into a daze. This man is really interesting. Where did Big Sister find such a weirdo? Oh, I bought him for a lifetime. Qingya seemed very calm, as if she bought a dog. This arrogant woman, she still wants to buy me for a lifetime. If not for the child in your stomach, I would have Long Outyin laughed sinisterly. Since you all are not willing to speak, then I can only use force. Needle of telling the truth. The specialty of this needle was that it was silent. Even if it was shot on one's penis, one would not be able to detect it. Furthermore, it was colorless and odorless. It was an essential medicine for running away from home. Long Outyin could be seen swinging his index and middle finger, and a silver needle pierced towards Yihua. At this moment, Yihua wanted to explode this man's head. This man actually dared to plot against me. But after thinking about it, I can't kill anyone. If I kill him, 5 years of hard work will all go to waste. But this man actually knew some tricks. This made Yihua a bit surprised. The feeling of novelty came again. The silver needle in the air suddenly reflected back, just like the bullet that night. Long Outyin didn't even know what happened, because this needle of telling the truth was not able to be felt by others. He laughed in his heart. I am going to expose your ugly face soon. Haha, there will be a day when I, Long Outyin, will have the most beautiful women in the world, including the two of you. At that time, I will set up a harem, and every night, I will flip the cards, ha 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 ha. I am 2F** king outstanding. Let me put my hands on my waist. Long Outyin said passionately, as if he was the #1 in the world. Pervert. Pervert. Qing Yutong and Qing Yutong said angrily. I didn't expect this Long Outyin to be even more arrogant than Yihua. To actually want me and my sister to be a part of his harem, go and die. Long Outyin was stupefied. What is going on with me? My mouth is not listening to me. Let me tell you, it's your fortune that I, Long Outyin, have taken a liking to all of you. I'm the little fairy doctor. Do you know what the little fairy doctor is? Long Outyin hurriedly covered his mouth. How could he reveal his biggest secret to Ling Yun? Could it be the needle of truth? That's not right. I shot it out just now. Why am I telling the truth? I can't say it anymore. He definitely couldn't say it again. His impression of him was completely gone. Who was the one playing tricks? Was it this handsome man? Impossible. Could it be that he had a problem throwing the needle? That should be the case. Qing Ye and Qing Yutong took a look at each other. There is something wrong with this man's brain. Yihua silently smoked his cigarette. Long Outyin? His name was resounding, but the person was a little silly. Long Outyin said, I'm not stupid. Qing Ye Juzi. Yihua said faintly. He was still very concerned about Juzi's question. Qing Ye said in disdain, Don't you have hands? Brother-in-law, do you want to eat oranges? Let me help you peel them. Qing Yutong deftly picked up the orange and started planning something in her mind. Qing Ye snorted coldly. She looked as if she didn't mind, but her eyes kept drifting away. Long Outyin covered his mouth. He wanted to say something, but he was afraid that he would say something carelessly again. Brother-in-law here, an international superstar personally peeled an orange, TSK. It can definitely be sold for a sky-high price. And looking at her big sister's expression, Qing Yutong seemed to feel that there was something fishy going on between the two of them. Learn more. Yihua took over the orange and said to Qing Ye, Big sister, did you hear that? Learn more. Long Outyin couldn't take it anymore. Enough. I, Long Outyin, am the main character. All of you are mine. Mine. At this time, Qing Chengren and Qing Huaxian walked in and asked gravely, What's going on? What is mine? Qing Yutong's eyes could be seen turning red. She stood up and pounced into her grandfather's embrace and said with grievance, Grandfather, this Long Outyin is still not satisfied with big sister, and still wants Yutong to be his woman. Woo, he is too much of a bully. Qing Ye smiled. This little sister is still the same as when she was young. She still likes to play tricks on people. Yihua silently looked at Qing Yutong's performance. Is this little Long Outyin worth shedding tears for? Childish? Outyin, what's going on? Seeing that his daughter was so wronged as the father, Qing Huaxian immediately questioned. Long Outyin. Woo. Qing Chengren also felt that the Long Outyin today was very strange and said gravely, Outyin, how can you speak when you are covering your mouth? Stupid. Qing Ye said coldly. Long Outyin's eyes were completely bloodshot. Why did it become like this? Shouldn't I be the one to beat down this pretentious man, and then obtain the elders' applause and the beauty's admiration? Why did everything change? That's not it. Long Outyin shouted out. It seems like the effect is already over. Just what is going on? Qing Chengren asked gravely. Although Long Outyin was indeed a pretty good young man, If his moral character was bad, I still have to reconsider. Long Outyin hurriedly explained. Grandpa Qing, it's not what you think. We were just joking just now. I'm really sorry. Yutong took it seriously. Qingya crossed her arms in front of her chest and sneered. I dare to say it, but I don't dare to admit it. That's right. Qing Yutong agreed. These two women were currently facing a common enemy, and thus temporarily formed an alliance. Long Outyin suddenly had a bright idea and said apologetically, I was wrong, I admit my mistake. Qing Chengren and Qing Huaxian more or less understood the situation. Seems like it was these two girls who were causing trouble again. All right, the meal is about to start. Qing Chengren smiled benevolently. In actuality, he was still very fond of this grandson-in-law of his. Qingya stood up and did not say anything, while Qing Yutong looked at her big sister and felt that there would definitely be a good show to watch later on. Long Outyin stared at Yi Hua. This man is too ruthless. I wonder where Qingya found this actor from. This demon king's aura is quite good. Just by sitting there and smoking, I feel that it is very pretentious. Perhaps I can also imitate it a bit. Qingya held on to Yi Hua's arm and walked towards the dining hall with the others. This action made the elders very unhappy, and Long Outyin almost wanted to throw out another tell the truth needle. I have never enjoyed this kind of treatment before. And that man actually has such an indifferent appearance. He is too good at acting. If it wasn't for me not having mastered throwing needles, today would be your doomsday. Chapter 24. Yi Hua casually sized up the book. This is a bit interesting. He actually bought a fake book. Qingya also saw the painting. This painting was exactly the same as the painting that was hung in Yi Hua's bedroom. It was Picasso's Boy with a Tobacco Pipe. Long Outyin chuckled. It was finally his turn. Grandpa Qing was so nice, creating an opportunity for him to act cool. Long Outyin observed the oil painting carefully and exclaimed, could this be Picasso's work? Proud heaven really is amazing. Qing Chengren was very satisfied, and when he sneaked a glance at his eldest granddaughter, he discovered that she did not have any reaction at all. Long Outyin continued. This painting was created in 1905, and it was one of Picasso's masterpieces from the Rose period. It was even praised by critics as being as mysterious as Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. In the end, it was auctioned in London for a whopping $100 million. Qing Huaxian smiled. Son-in-law is also a person who has seen a lot of things. Qing Chengren smiled to the point that his eyes had narrowed into a slit, and praised. Seems like Outyin's understanding towards oil painting is very deep. It is very rare for youngsters nowadays to have this kind of ability. Long Outyin felt extremely good, as if he could already see the two beautiful sisters looking at him with worship in their eyes. I don't deserve to be called Outyin. I only know a little about it. However, paintings like this are getting more and more expensive nowadays. I wonder how much Grandpa Qing paid for it. Not much, just 150 million. Long Outyin was shocked in his heart. This Qing family is too rich, isn't it? A painting that is worth more than 100 million is hung in the hallway. Doesn't that mean that I will be lying in a pile of money in the future? Just thinking about it made him excited. Looking at that man's dumbfounded expression, it was likely that he had never seen something so expensive before. Mr. Yi, what do you think? Long Outyin asked with a smile. Evidently, he wanted to make a fool of Yi Hua. I reckon that Yi Hua has never seen such a painting before, right? If Yi Hua is unable to say anything about it, he would be losing a lot of face. Qingya went into a daze, thinking to herself, Yi Hua wouldn't be lying, right? It's fake. After Yi Hua finished speaking, everyone went into a daze, including Qingya and Qing Yutong. Long Outyin was secretly delighted. Keep up the act. You've gone overboard, saying it's fake, ha ha ha. Yi Hua, don't speak nonsense. Qingya pulled onto the corner of Yi Hua's shirt and said in a low voice, Grandpa himself loves to collect famous paintings. And yet, you actually said that those paintings are fake. Grandpa will be very unhappy. This is not a good thing for Grandpa in the future. It must be said that Qingya had already thought very far ahead. Right now we are already husband and wife, and we even have a child. Could it be that in the future, we are really going to divorce and let our child become a single-parent family? Qingye can't bear to let our child grow up in this kind of environment. Perhaps, it's fine if I suffer a bit of loss myself. In any case, I also need to find a husband. Although Yihua likes to be a big boss, his heart is still considered to be good. He donated until he only has 2 RMB left. Mr. Yi, why do you say that? Long Outyin asked hurriedly, because Qing Chunren's face had already darkened. Yihua really wanted to send this ant flying with a slap. Truly long-winded. However, I can't make a move. Later on, I'll let Lai Gu or Wei Chang do it. If I make a move myself, the consequences will be unimaginable. Yihua was too lazy to explain. Qingye knows. Everyone looked towards the adorable Qingye. Qingye was having a headache. To actually drag me down with him. I have never seen such a bad man before. Big sister, you also think that this is fake? Qing Yutong asked curiously. Qingye knew that her little sister was going to hit her when she was down. And the friendship that was just formed immediately collapsed. There is also a painting hanging in Yihua's bedroom. At this time, I can only help Yihua. Could it be that I still have to say that Yihua is in the wrong? Yihua was a bit surprised. When this woman saw the painting in my bedroom, she did not have this kind of expression. However, looking at her current expression, it is still not bad. It has a bit of flavor. Long Outyin laughed. Qing Chunren and Qing Huaxian also laughed, shook their heads and did not say anything, then continued walking towards the dining hall. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth. Big sister's condition today is a bit problematic. Isn't she being too protective of that man? Wrong. Bedroom. Big sister has been to this man's bedroom before. My God. Qingye slowed down her footsteps and said in a low voice. Yihua, later on when we are eating, I beg you to not speak carelessly. Can you listen to me? Ignorant woman. Promise me a condition. Yihua said indifferently. You. Qingye's lungs were about to explode from anger. To actually raise a condition with me. Speak. Qingye, who had no other choice, decided to admit defeat for the time being. After listening to Yihua's condition, Qingye scolded Yihua for being shameless to the extreme. To actually ask me to do that kind of thing, bastard. Give me an inch and take a foot. Enduring the pain in her heart, Qingye said coldly, All right, I promise you if you dare to speak carelessly again. Relax, I will do what I said. As if I would believe you. Qing family's dining hall was also extraordinarily big. The people who were cooking were all top chefs in the country. And there were even maids serving at the side. This was simply the life of an emperor. Yihua was a bit rueful, thinking back then. I also lived like this. I didn't expect that the more I live. Whether I am advancing or retreating, I am already unclear. And this utensil is even a product from Europe. And looking at the design, it is even a product of the royal family. This Qing family is indeed rich to a certain extent. Wang Muqing and Zihan supported the old lady Mei Xuanshuang and walked out. And upon seeing Yihua, Mei Xuanshuang could be seen shouting, Grandson-in-law, when are you going to have a child with Yutong? Grandma is still waiting to carry a great-grandson. Yihua did not speak. If that woman wants to obtain my bloodline, she has to go and train her temperament again. Not every woman is able to obtain my favor. Qingye being able to get pregnant is just an accident. Grandma, he is my brother-in-law. Even Qing Yutong was a bit unable to take it anymore, let alone the others. Qing Yutong could only smile awkwardly. The old lady's illness was just like that. Qing Chunren sat on the main seat and said with a smile, Everyone, sit down and eat. Yihua thought back in his mind, how many years has it been since I sat on a lower seat? I didn't expect that it was all because of this stupid woman. If this scene were to be spread out, it would be terrible. At that time, I can only kill her to silence her. Without a doubt, Qingye sat beside Yihua, to prevent Yihua from speaking nonsense. This man is truly a man that makes others worry. Meanwhile, Qing Yutong sat at the other side of Yihua. This brother-in-law is really interesting. I feel that he has big sister in his grasp. Long Outyin sat opposite of Yihua and Qingye, and his expression was a bit bad. Why is that man able to have beautiful women on his left and right? And yet, There isn't any at my side. Wang Muqing could tell that Long Outyin was in a bad mood. Thus she glared at her daughter and said, Qingya, accompany Outyin and sit. Mom, I am a woman with a husband. How can I sit together with another man? Yihua will get angry. Qingya said calmly. Qing Huaxian shouted out gravely. Enough. Even if you are acting, there must be a limit. Qingya pouted her mouth, did not explain, did not get up either. In any case, she just did not move. Chapter 25. Yutong, how long do you plan to stay this time? Zihan asked concernedly. Her daughter was not at home for a long time. She missed her a lot. Qing Yutong spread out her hands. I have already gotten the Oscar. I don't have any more pursuits. I have decided to retire and enjoy life. Qing Huaxian was very gratified. You should have done this long ago. Come to Dad's company. I don't want to go. Even if I am going to go, I want to go to Big Sister's company. What do you think, Big Sister? Qing Yutong really planned to retire from the entertainment circle this time. She was a woman who liked challenges. The moment she got the Oscar, she decided to retire from the entertainment circle. Up to you, Qingya said indifferently. Long Outyin felt that his chance had come. Qing Yutong would definitely be one of his harem. Upon thinking that he would be able to sleep with the movie queen, the hair on his body all stood up. Qing Chunren suddenly thought of something and reminded. Recently Longan City is a bit chaotic. Yaya Yutong, you two pay attention. Grandpa, what's wrong? Did something happen? Qing Yutong asked curiously. After all, she just came back today. An international hitman died last night. Qing Chunren said unhurriedly. Qingya wrinkled her brows. Where did he die? It seems to be on the building opposite of Hejiang River. Opposite of Hejiang River. I and Yihua were still taking a stroll there last night. Qingya wrinkled her brows and took a look at Yihua. Where does Mr. Yi work? Qing Chunren asked. Qingya hurriedly said. Yihua opened a bar by himself. Qing Yutong went into a daze. The boss of a bar. This plot is not bad. Wang Muqing and Zihan were a bit displeased. It seems like they do not have a good impression of someone who opens a bar. Why would their daughter mix around with someone who opens a bar? Long Outyin mocked. Opening a bar is not bad. It has a bright future. There must be a lot of beauties at the bar, right? Yihua decided. I must definitely slap this fly to death. Long Outyin, don't think that I don't know what you are doing in the company. What is going on between you and the director of HR? Qingya questioned coldly. Long Outyin was startled. How did she know about this matter? I indeed have an affair with the director of HR. That woman is indeed very charming. And speaking about me, I also conquered her with my charm. Qingya, you misunderstood. It's nothing. Long Outyin hurriedly explained. I'm sure that she found out that I went to her house. Qingya sneered and said to her family, this is the person that you all fancied? Not even a week after coming to the company. And he already had an affair with the HR department's director. You are truly capable to be able to swindle the HR department's director, even though you are just a security guard. You are truly worthy of being called the fairy doctor, hugging a beauty with both hands. The gazes of the Qing family were all focused on Long Outyin, as if they wanted to verify whether this matter was true or not. Qingya, you've misunderstood. AIB Han is a single mother. What's wrong with me helping her? Isn't the slogan of the company uniting as one? I didn't expect it to cause such a misunderstanding. I don't care about it as a man, but what will others think of AIB Han? Isn't this forcing her to resign? Long Outyan's words were very impassioned and passionate, portraying himself as a super good man, and saying that Qingya was an unreasonable person. Long Outyin still had brains. Qingya, how can you treat your subordinates like this? Qing Huaxian said unhappily. Qing Group and Qingya's Qing City International were separated. But Qing Huaxian had been taught since young that one must treat one's subordinates well. Only then would he be able to repay you. Qingya was a smart woman. Since she couldn't take out any evidence right now, everything she said would be in vain. Qingya was even more certain that she was being unreasonable. Big sister, Long Outyin is really playing dirty tricks right under your nose? He is too arrogant. Qing Yutong felt injustice for her big sister. But who knows if what she said was true or false? Qing Yutong's mother Zihan reminded, Yutong, speak less. Qing Chunren seemed to be a bit irritated. All right, speak less and eat, serve the dishes. Yi Hua, on the other hand, had an indifferent look on his face. He was not interested in this kind of small matter at all. But he was a bit curious about the following dishes. Delicious dishes were served one after another, and with a single glance, Yi Hua took a fancy to that bowl of crayfish. Qingya was immediately startled. I feel that this fellow is going to put on airs again, and immediately said in a low voice, I'll help you get it. And that crab? Yi Hua said indifferently. Qingya was angered to the point of laughing. Just you wait, one day, I will definitely take revenge on you. The following scene made everyone's jaws drop. Qingya, this strong woman, actually didn't eat the crayfish herself, and instead helped this man to eat the crayfish first. And she even had a smile on her face. Is this still the Qingya from before? Qing Chungren was stupefied. Qing Huaxian was stupefied. Wang Muqing was dumbfounded. Zihan was stupefied. Qing Yutong had a face full of shock. And on the other hand, old lady Mei Xuanshuang had a face full of smiles. Long Outyin held onto the chopsticks, and the veins on the back of his hand bulged out by a bit. What right does this man have to let Qingya peel the crayfish for him? And furthermore, he doesn't even have a bit of gratitude in his heart, as if it is something that should be done. Qing Chunren felt that something was wrong. If it was an actor that was hired by his granddaughter, he definitely wouldn't act like this. That expression of him peeling the crayfish even had the intention of fawning. What is going on with his granddaughter? Wang Muqing couldn't take it anymore and said gravely, Qingya, peel a few for Outyin as well. He isn't worthy. Qingya placed the peeled crayfish meat into Yi Hua's bowl, and Yi Hua calmly picked up his chopsticks and picked up the crayfish meat. Everything was so harmonious. Under the table, both of Long Outyin's fists were tightly clenched. No matter where I go, I will be respected by people, and only today is the day of humiliation. Qing Huaxian was already unable to suppress his anger anymore as he shouted, Qingya, you better make things clear today. Qingya wiped her hands, then took out a red booklet from her bag, and directly threw it onto the table. Without waiting for everyone to react, Qing Yutong immediately snatched the booklet over and cried out in surprise, Big sister, you really got married. This can't be fake, right? Qing Chungren wrinkled his brows and said gravely, Qingya, what does this marriage certificate mean? It means what it means on the surface. Qingya appeared to be very calm. She had imagined this kind of situation countless of times in her mind. Once again, Qingya took out another marriage certificate from her bag and threw it onto the table. This is a combo to catch the enemy unprepared. Qingya did not become a cool and elegant CEO for nothing. Qing Yutong still snatched the booklet over, and her beautiful eyes revealed out shock. This time big sister is playing big, right? Wang Muqing took the booklet over, and after she finished looking at it, her expression was the same as Qing Yutong's, as if she was struck by lightning. After everyone finished looking at it, the scene immediately became quiet, and the air seemed to have frozen. Qingya actually got married with this man, and even had a child. My God! Long Outyin's expression was even more colorful. He was completely unable to accept this kind of ending. How can it be possible for Qingya to have a child? All of these are fake. How can I possibly be cuckolded? I am Long Outyin. Qingya, tell me, is all of these fake or not? All of these are made by you to anger me? Long Outyin was still struggling. His ordinary face was distorted to the point that it was a little scary. Chapter 26. Everything is true. Yi Hua is my husband, and we already have a child. Qingya said faintly, That's great, Yaya has a child. Mei Xuanshuang clapped her hands and shouted like a child. Bang! Qing Chungren fiercely slammed onto the table, then left with his sleeves. Qing Huaxian shouted out coldly, I don't have a daughter like you, scram. It just so happens that I also don't want to have a father like you. Qingya silently said, but only she herself knew how much pain her heart was in. Yi Hua, let's go. Yi Hua paused for a moment. As long as Qingya is willing, I can exterminate them and help her vent her anger. Yar! Looking at her daughter's departing figure, Wang Muqing hurriedly shouted. Qing Huaxian said coldly, "You are not allowed to call her. If not, you can follow her out." Huaxian, Qingya must have been bewitched by that man. Don't plead for her anymore. It's a misfortune for our family. I, Qing Huaxian, will just take it that I have never given birth to such a daughter. Qing Yutong poured a cup of wine for herself, then drank it in one gulp. Big sister is too awesome. This move of yours is truly amazing. Uncle Qing, I will take my leave first. Long Outyin couldn't sit still anymore. He felt that his entire body was about to explode. This damnable Qingya actually made me a cuckold. Qing Huaxian said painfully. Outyin, uncle has let you down. Long Outyin was also a person who had his own pride. Turning around, Long Outyin left. Qing Huaxian let out a sigh. Such a promising young man is going to leave just like that. Qing Huaxian looked at his little daughter. Dad, don't look at me, believe it or not. I will also casually find a man and give birth to a child. Qing Yutong still did not know what her father was thinking, and immediately cut off his thoughts. Zihan shouted. Yutong, speak properly to your father. Forget it, I'm leaving too. Bye-bye. Qing Huaxian was angered to the point that he held onto his chest and muttered. My family is so unfortunate. Why did I give birth to daughters like this? Not a single one of them is not a worry. If only I had a boy. Wang Muqing and Zihan took a look at each other. Both of them were helpless. Outside, Long Outyin was sitting in his Passat, smoking furiously. He couldn't let this matter go just like that. Yihua and Qingya, just you wait. Since I am unable to get Qingya, there is still Qing Yutong, this woman. Although she doesn't plan to mingle in the entertainment circle anymore. But right now, her fame is still very big, and it wouldn't be a loss of face for her to become my first wife. However, today, I have to properly display my ability. Not only do I have to make Qingya regret, I also have to make Qing Yutong fall in love with me. Thinking of this, Long Outyin picked up his phone, found Lord Jiu's number and called him. When the call went through, Long Outyin smiled and asked, Lord Jiu, how's the prescription I gave you last time? Jiu Ye's forthright voice sounded from the phone. So it is little brother Outyin. You don't say. After I used the prescription that you gave me, it is not a problem for me to come 3 times in one night. It is as if I have become the young lad from that year. Lord Jiu, I have an even better prescription here. Lord Jiu, if you take it, you'll be fine for the whole night. I guarantee that the ladies will beg for mercy, Long Outyin said with a grin. Oh, little brother Outyin, you are not kind and honest to only tell Jiu Yi now. Jiu Yi misunderstood. I only found out about this prescription recently. How smart was Lord Jiu? He knew that this youngster wanted him to do something for him. Speak, what is it? Lord Jiu, I want to ask you to help me. Hearing Long Outyin's narration, it seems like he wants me to send people to rob the other party, and then he will come out to save the other party. Small matter. Thank you, Lord Jiu. I will send you the car plate number later. The location is at the Fork Road in the northern suburbs. Long Outyin twisted his neck. I have to move my muscles and bones later. Alright, leave it to Lord Jiu. After hanging up the phone, Long Outyin looked towards Yihua and Qingya, who came out and clenched his fists tightly. I, Long Outyin, will not let down this name of mine. When I become strong, it will be the anniversary of your death. On the other side, Lord Jiu made a call to his underling. Ask some people to go down and put on a show later. Lord Jiu, what show? Hero saving the beauty. I will send the car plate number and address to you later. Lord Jiu said. Which hero is who, so that we can go easy on him? Lord Jiu went into a daze. A youngster who looks like he has a lot of temperament, and is also a bit handsome. Alright, Lord Jiu, temperament, handsome, understood. The show has to be realistic. Do you understand? Lord Jiu, don't worry. I guarantee that other people will not be able to tell. After hanging up the phone, the underling immediately gathered tens of people and headed towards the northern suburbs. In the manner, Yihua looked at the stubborn Qingya, and his tone became a bit gentler, I guess. You don't need to care. Qingya, who was currently in a fit of anger, Her tone became a bit heavy, causing Yihua to be very angry. I can't give this woman any face at all. Yihua couldn't be bothered to care. You just have to obediently give birth to a child for me. Sitting in the front passenger seat, Yihua said, Drive, let's go back. Xingye glared at Yihua, seemingly saying, It's fine if other people bully me, but even you want to hit me when I'm down too. Big sister, brother-in-law, wait for me. Qing Yutong could be seen dragging her luggage and waving her hand towards Yihua's direction. Qingye sighed, if I had known earlier, I would have listened to Yihua's words and drove away. What are you trying to do? Qingye asked gravely. Qing Yutong spread out her hands. What else can I do? Of course I'm going to stay with you, big sister. Qingye's brows wrinkled. Isn't it good to stay at Grandpa and Grandma's place? If you are not used to staying here, big sister can go to a hotel and get a room for you. Or buy a house for you. Big sister, it has been a long time since we last stayed together. Do a good deed and take this little sister in. Qing Yutong shook her big sister's arm and entered into an endless coquettish mode. Qingye wouldn't fall for it. I was cheated countless times when I was young. I will give you a call to arrange it. Seeing that her big sister was useless, Qing Yutong immediately begged Yihua, who was smoking at the side. Brother-in-law, just say some good words, please. Isn't it just an extra bed? What are you being so long-winded about? Yihua said impatiently. This small matter also needs to be long-winded. Qingye was instantly stupefied. An extra bed. Do you think that it is such a simple matter as an extra pair of chopsticks? Qing Yutong immediately threw the luggage into the trunk of the car, then sat at the back seat, fastened her seatbelt, and obediently waited. That sitting posture of hers was simply the model representative of a good student. I originally thought that the retirement would be very boring, but in the end, I found out that big sister actually had a child with a man and even got married. There is nothing more interesting than this. Is this the distortion of human nature, or the degeneration of morals in this matter? The two of you get off, this is my car. Qingye, who was flustered and exasperated, was already speaking incoherently. Yihua said indifferently, Not getting off. Brother-in-law is not getting off. I am also not getting off. Qing Yutong said pitifully, The title of Best Actress is not for show. Chapter 27. However, Yihua and Qing Yutong were very calm and collected, and were not afraid at all. Long Outyin, who was at the back, hurriedly drove his car, and he didn't expect that Qing Yutong did not drive his own car. The plan has changed. It seems like it is too late to inform Qing Yutong now. Yihua, who was in the car, said, Remember what you promised me tonight. Without waiting for Qingye to reply, Qing Yutong, who was at the back, asked curiously, Brother-in-law, what matter did big sister promise you that we can only do it at night? Wow, the two of you are so romantic. Qingye's face darkened and did not say anything. Yihua said lightly, You will know when the time comes. Oh my God, can you even show it to people? You guys are so open-minded. The two of you enough. Qingye couldn't help but shout out. Suddenly, Qing Yutong cried out in surprise. Big sister, there's someone ahead. ZZ. The tires left 2 tire marks on the ground. If it wasn't an Audi, the idiot in front of him would have been sent flying. Ayo, my forehead. Qing Yutong touched onto her head. Yihua's face was cold as he shouted, Don't you know how to drive properly? I won't. Bite me. Stupid woman. Qing Yutong, who was at the back, was observing the fight between brother-in-law and big sister. This is too interesting. There were more than 10 big men standing outside, and the atmosphere was a little awkward. Did the people in the car not notice anything wrong? Highway robbery. Give me some face, okay? That's right, at the critical moment just now, this little brother received the latest report. The Ferrari had been changed to an Audi A8. One of the lackeys knocked on the window of the car, and Qing Yutong had a frustrated look on her face as she lowered the window and said, Don't be noisy. I am watching my brother-in-law and big sister quarrel. However, as soon as the window was opened, they could hear the sound of quarreling coming from inside. You asked Yutong to move in. Do you have any thoughts about her? So what if I do? Didn't you say you were going to give me condoms? Hearing that, Qing Yutong was dumbstruck. Big sister, brother-in-law, you two are too bad. Quickly let me off the bus. This is not the bus that is going to the kindergarten. Shut up. Qing turned around and shouted angrily. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth. Big sister, you are going to give me and brother-in-law condoms. You are so perverted, scram. Qing felt that she was going to explode. However, more than 10 men outside were listening with great interest. The people in the car were all hardcore. Elder sister, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law. This relationship was too messy. The world of the rich was really hard to understand. Long Outyin watched from afar. He noticed that the dozen or so men were surrounding the car, but they did not make a move. It was as if they were listening to something. After waiting for a long time, they became more and more excited. You guys are here to work, not to listen to family gossip. How dare you? What are you doing in broad daylight? Long Outyin appeared in a dazzling manner. His aura was magnificent, and his whole body was emitting a wave of positive energy. The dozen or so burly men glanced at each other, and then looked at the man in the car. After comparison, they still felt that the man in the car was more elegant and handsome. It was just that he was a busybody. You guys go and deal with him. Don't let any Tom, Dick or Harry come here. I have never heard such an interesting quarrel before. As the big brother, he ordered the three of them to go and deal with Long Outyin. As for the three of them, they were reluctant to leave. It was all this damned man's fault. Why did he suddenly appear? Long Outyin wrinkled his brows. Why haven't the people in the car come down yet? If that's the case, what's the point of fighting? Brothers, what's going on with you guys? Why aren't you letting the people in the car come down? Long Outyin reminded in a low voice. Get down. One of the burly men raised his fist and punched over. Long Outyin easily dodged to the side and grabbed onto the burly man's arm, then hurriedly said, Brothers, I am the one who hired you guys. Boss, save me. The burly man shouted for help. We have met with a troublesome person. Seeing the situation, the boss became angry. To actually spoil my plan. Brothers, go. The dozen or so burly men picked up their clubs and ran madly. And Yihua, who was in the car, was also too lazy to quarrel with Qingya. He got off the car to take a breath of fresh air and smoke a cigarette. You guys quickly look over there is a fight. Qing Yutong cried out in surprise. Qingya snorted coldly. Of course I saw it. Isn't that little brother Long Outyin? He seems to be very powerful. Qing Yutong looked around, and her mouth didn't stop moving. Long Outyin noticed the situation at this side, and finally got off the car. Furthermore, after getting Qing Yutong's attention, he immediately shouted out, Yutong, quickly leave this place to me. What are you saying? I can't hear you, Qing Yutong shouted out. I said, leave these scoundrels to me. Quickly leave this place, Long Outyin was distracted, and a fist came flying over. I say, brother, we are just putting on a show. There is no need to be so ruthless, right? The boss shouted out. Who is putting on a show with you? Beat him to death. You guys. Don't blame me for being impolite then. A powerful aura could be seen bursting out from Long Outyin's body. And with every punch, he looked like a god that had descended to the mortal world. Brothers, this idea is a bit ruthless. Take out your weapons. The boss finally spoke, and 2 or 3 burly men could be seen taking out their AKs from the car and shooting randomly at Long Outyin. Long Outyin turned pale with fright. If my dragon god technique was trained to the pinnacle, I wouldn't even be afraid of missiles. But right now, I have only just started. I still can't take bullets, I can only dodge. Yihua flicked away the cigarette but in his hand, not interested to continue watching. Sitting in the car, Qingya didn't want to watch anymore. This show is too terrible. Long Outyin, go for it. You can do it. Qing Yutong waved her hand and sat in the back seat. Then the 3 of them drove away. Long Outyin was in despair. You guys should at least call the police for me. Luckily I made 2 ground escape talismans. If not, I would have died here today. I didn't expect that I, Long Outyin, would have such a day. I have really ruined the name of Fairy Doctor. I am an expert that treats people with my left hand and kills people with my right hand. Just that I have not matured yet. Ground escape talisman. Long Outyin, who was still dodging left and right just a moment ago, suddenly disappeared. The group of burly men were all stupefied. What is going on? The plan was ruined by this brat. I will definitely be scolded by Jiu Yi when I return. Damn passerby A. Long Outyin, who had just finished using the ground escape talisman, let out a sigh of relief. Looking at the surrounding environment, it's hazy. What a big fog. I can't have arrived at that mountain, right? Ah, who are you? Hearing a tender shout, Long Outyin was immediately startled. So this is the bathroom. Seems like my Long Outyin's luck with women is still normal. I am Long Outyin. May I know this lady's name? The woman was stupefied. Lady, I saw that your face was red just now, and now it is gradually turning pale. This is the symptom of your body being weak. If you don't mind, I can personally check your pulse. Scram! The woman let out a tender shout. Long Outyin straightened his bangs. The plot is always the same. On the other side. Chapter 28. Very quickly, Qingye stopped the car at the side of the bar. Without paying attention to anyone, Qingye directly opened the door, got off the car and walked into the bar. After Yihua got off the car, he lit up a cigarette and prepared to enter the house. Qing Yutong hurriedly shouted, "Brother-in-law, my luggage is very heavy, can you help me a bit?" "I can't." Yihua took a deep breath and said faintly. Without even turning his head back, he walked into leisure bar, leaving behind the silly Qing Yutong. This brother-in-law of mine is too awesome, he doesn't play by the rules. While carrying her luggage, Qing Yutong walked into leisure bar, and seeing that Yihua was mixing a drink at the bar counter, she didn't care about her luggage anymore, sat on the high chair, and asked with a curious look on her face, "Brother-in-law, I want to drink." "Take it yourself. I want to drink this cup of yours." Qing Yutong pointed at the wine that Yihua had concocted in his hand and said. Yihua pushed out the bright red wine in his hand. "I have drugged this wine, if you aren't afraid, you can drink it." "TSK, you are speaking as if I will believe you," Qing Yutong said in disdain, then picked up the wine cup and raised her head. Then, she took a glance at Yihua. "This fellow couldn't have really drugged me, right? I'm a virgin, they must definitely be working together. No wonder Big Sister said that she would send condoms over. Forget it, I don't want to drink anymore," Qing Yutong said with a slight smile. Yihua laughed lightly. This Qing Yutong's courage is too small. She isn't even as big as Qing Ye's. Picking up the wine cup, Yihua drank the wine in one gulp. Comfortable. He felt much better. Qing Yutong discovered that she was deceived, and a feeling of defeat arose in her heart. Thinking about how I am also an international celebrity, and furthermore, I am an Oscar Best Actress. She was actually fooled by a handsome guy. What a shame. The paintings here are really beautiful. Qing Yutong immediately changed the topic to avoid being ridiculed. Ever since I met brother-in-law, I have been ridiculed countless of times. You want it? Take anything you want, Yihua said faintly. Qing Yutong clicked her tongue. I don't want to strangle you, it's all fake. Women are just childish and stupid. After placing down the wine cup, Yihua walked upstairs, because there was a matter that he wanted Lai Gu or Wei Chang to go and deal with. Brother-in-law, where do I sleep? Qing Yutong shouted anxiously. Whatever. Qing Yutong scratched her hair. This brother-in-law of mine is really not bad. He is still so calm when facing my enticement. I have to go and ask Big Sister. How did she meet this weirdo brother-in-law? Arriving at the office, Yihua did not turn on the television. Instead, he contacted Lai Gu and Wei Chang. A human and a dog instantly appeared in the office. Just that, Lai Gu was letting out panting sounds, seemingly like he was working on something. Yihua was truly unable to watch on anymore. Is this dragon in heat? With a wave of his hand, Lai Gu disappeared. Out of sight, out of mind. Your Honor, Lai Gu is becoming more and more like a dog. Wei Chang smiled respectfully. Yihua waved his hand. Let's not talk about it first. Today, I met a person who made me unhappy. You go and deal with him. Wei Chang was very puzzled. To be able to make his honor angry, It seems like only the madam is capable of doing that. Could it be that his honor has lost his humanity again? This was a big matter, and he had to persuade him properly. Your honor, madam still doesn't know of your identity, and thus she spoke a bit rashly. Your honor, you should forgive her. Only then will she be able to show her humanity. Wei Chang persuaded in a low voice. What are you talking about? Yi Hua asked coldly. Wei Chang went into a daze. Didn't your honor tell me to go and deal with madam? Yi Hua was angered to the point of laughing. Holding onto his forehead, he said, Wei Chang, Wei Chang, why is it that after so many years, you are still brainless? Although I told you to go and get rid of the assassin organization, don't you know that there is another way to solve this problem? Control them, and make them work for us. Every time I ask you to do something, you always kill all of them. Don't you know that you left one of them as a puppet? Wei Chang had a frightened look on his face as he immediately knelt down. Your honor, subordinate is slow-witted. It's like this every time. Yi Hua was speechless. If we were a bit smarter, we wouldn't have been wiped out by the assassin organization back then. Wei Chang lowered his head and remained silent. Using the old method, as long as I don't speak, his honor's anger will disappear. This person is Qingya's fiancé. His name is Long Outyan. His strength is very weak, and he calls himself something like fairy doctor. Yi Hua said helplessly, in case he was really stupid enough to go and get rid of Qingya. Congratulations, your honor. Congratulations, your honor. Wei Chang suddenly had a happy look on his face as he shouted out. This caused Yi Hua to be puzzled. What are you congratulating me for? Congratulations to your honor for obtaining another humanity. Oh, what? Yi Hua asked curiously. Jealousy. Hearing that, Yi Hua went into a daze. Then his entire face darkened. Scram idiot. All of you are a bunch of idiots. Wei Chang didn't have the slightest bit of fear on his face. His honor's reaction right now is exactly the same as the black-bellied male lead in those television dramas. With a smile on his face, Wei Chang disappeared within the black void. It is a good thing that his honor has humanity. After calming down, Yi Hua turned on the television. Only the Calabash brothers saving Grandpa can make my heart calm down. Damn it. Why are there a bunch of idiots around me? It's fine if my subordinates are idiots, but my women are also idiots as well. If not forget it. Endure it. Wei Chang, who disappeared, appeared in his rented apartment. There wasn't any luxurious furniture in the apartment. On the contrary, the apartment was very ordinary. In Longan City, this kind of apartment only costs 1,000 RMB per month. Of course, the apartment was furnished along with the furniture. There were 2 bedrooms and 1 living room in the apartment, and the decoration was also very ordinary. As one of the 7 sins, Wei Chang seemed to be very low profile. Wei Chang let out a breath, then summoned out evil spirit Death Mage. Master. Death Mage respectfully knelt on the ground and waited for Wei Chang's orders. Wei Chang poured a cup of water and burped. Go and kill a person called Long Outyan. I will solemnly obey Master's orders. Death Mage respectfully accepted the order, then immediately disappeared from the room, as if he had never appeared before. However, when Death Mage appeared once again, he was practically blinding. This was a small villa that was luxuriously decorated. Expensive furniture could be seen everywhere. With just a look, one could tell that this was the home of a nouveau riche. Death Mage placed the scythe that was in his hand at the side, and took out a few bottles of beer from the fridge. After taking the beer, Death Mage sat on the sofa and turned on the television. There wasn't any Calabash brothers on the television, but the ball went in. 3-2. Real Madrid took the lead. Listening to the excited commentary on the television, Death Mage let out a strange laughter, which couldn't help but make one's hair stand on end. Suddenly remembering that he still had important matters to attend to, Death Mage stretched out his hand and shouted faintly, Death Assassin! A person could be seen walking out from the void. The person's appearance couldn't be seen. It was very strange. Master, go and kill a man called Long Outyan. If you don't have any information, look for him yourself. Death Mage said silently, then opened a bottle of beer and started drinking. Just that, the beer passed through the skeleton and dripped onto the sofa. But Death Mage felt very refreshed and even burped. Death Assassin said respectfully, "Yes." Chapter 29. That's right. Every time he did something, Wei Chang would summon Death Mage. And when Death Mage found out that the opponent was too weak, he would simply summon a lackey to kill the opponent. And every time he killed the opponent, the master did not ask for money, so Wei Chang would not be polite and kept all the cash. Right now, he was living in a villa, and as long as he got some fresh air, he would sit here and watch the match, and let his lackey do the work. Just that, watching the match would also make him very angry. If the team that he liked were to lose, he would really want to burn the team with fire. Just that, the target this time was not an ordinary person, but the fairy doctor Long Outyan. He was the kind of person who treated people with his left hand, and killed people with his right hand. Not sure if a single death assassin would be able to deal with him. Furthermore, without any information, how am I supposed to find him? Then you are underestimating Death Assassin too much. There were a few times when there was no information, but Death Assassin still found the target, and made the target die from an accident or some other reason. In any case, no one would be able to tell that it was a murder. It was simply invincible. Wei Chang also did not expect that the lackey that he summoned would actually also summon his lackey to do things. Too lazy. Yihua also definitely did not expect that his lackey would summon his lackey to do things. Do you all have to be so lazy? Who did you all learn this bad habit from? Unknowingly, the sun gradually set. Yihua took out his phone and ordered takeout. At the same time, he was thinking, as my woman, she actually doesn't even know how to cook. Don't all human women know how to cook for men? This Qingyu needs to be properly taught. I'm just afraid that during the process of teaching, I won't be able to control myself. After ordering the takeout, Yihua was also puzzled. Why did this woman suddenly become so quiet in the afternoon? Unable to hold back the curiosity in his heart, Yihua pushed open the door and walked out, then opened the bedroom door. Qingye and Qing Yutong could be seen sitting on his bed watching a movie, and on the bed, there were all kinds of snacks scattered on the blanket. Yihua, who had a serious obsession with cleanliness, immediately became furious. The veins on his forehead bulged out frighteningly. "Qingye, I will give you 1 minute to clean up, and you too." Yihua pointed at the two stupid women and shouted. Actually, if it was another man, he definitely wouldn't scold them, because they looked so alluring, and they were even wearing pajamas. Qingye pouted. "What are you being so fierce for?" Qing Yutong pouted. "This brother-in-law of mine really starts scolding whenever he doesn't agree with me. He is simply a weirdo." The two women obediently cleaned the bed, because they didn't like the bed either, and they just wanted to discuss Yihua a bit. However, their goal was indeed achieved. Yihua walked over and took a look. There was actually still oil stains on the blanket, and he could not stand it. The quilt has been changed. The bedsheets have also been changed. Change the pillow too. Yihua shouted out gravely, running to the bed even when eating snacks. Yihua is so stupid that his heart is aching. Qingye said in displeasure. "Yihua, that's enough from you. Isn't it just a small mark? Are you going to trade or not?" Yihua shouted out angrily. Even Qing Yutong was taken aback. These two are for real. He had thought that it was a joke. This was way too scary. "Brother-in-law, don't be angry, I will change it." Qing Yutong was still quite sensible, while Qingye crossed her arms across her chest and snorted coldly. "Look at your little sister. Which part of you is comparable to her?" Yihua couldn't help but shout out. Qingye went into a daze for a moment, then shouted out. "Then go and look for her to give birth to your child. Why are you looking for me?" After finished speaking, Qingye covered her face and ran out. "Brother-in-law, you are really..." Qing Yutong was speechless. "Who in the world would strike a blow on someone like you? Although I am indeed more capable than big sister by a bit, but you don't have to say it so straightforwardly." Yihua, who had a stomach full of anger, wished that he could explode the earth to vent his anger. I only need to say a few sentences to her, and she is already flying away. Why are women so troublesome? Yihua, who was helpless, could only chase after her. What if this foolish woman is unable to think of a solution, and decides to perish together with my child. Grabbing onto Qingye, who was about to walk out of the bar, Yihua said gravely, "Have you messed around enough? Let go of me. From today onwards, I don't know you anymore." Qingye put on a stern face, and her tone was close to the temperature below zero. Qing Yutong hid at the side and observed, "These two people are too interesting. Perhaps I can go and write a novel, haha, it will definitely become popular. Even if you don't want to know me anymore, you have to give birth to my child." Yihua's tone was even more so. All the women who dared to be arrogant in front of me in the past had all become pink skeletons. And only this woman did not become pink skeletons. Qingye sneered, "I regret, I will learn from you. Qingye, speak properly." Yihua looked coldly at the woman in front of him, and discovered that he was already on the verge of collapsing, and the demon in his heart was currently devouring the remaining humanity in his heart. Qingye's eyes could be seen instantly turning red, and she shouted while choking with sobs, "How did I not speak properly? It is all because you are looking for things to do. You are the most scoundrel man that I have ever seen. You are even more of a scoundrel than that Long Out Yin." Brother-in-law, big sister. The two of you quarreled from home all the way here. Haven't you two quarreled enough? My ears are going to ring soon. Qing Yutong stood out to adjust the atmosphere. She was the most experienced in this. Shut up. Shut up. Qing Yutong pursed her sexy lips and immediately hid. Brother-in-law and big sister's current battle strength is already enough to fight against Thanos. Looking at Qingye's stubborn expression, Yihua's heart softened. However, as a supreme overlord, how can I lower my head to a woman? That is definitely not possible. I ordered takeout. Yihua said lightly, his tone became much calmer. Qing Yutong thought that brother-in-law would be stubborn to the end, and I didn't expect that brother-in-law would actually admit defeat. Haha, this is a bit interesting. Qingye naturally knew that now that I know that I am in the wrong. Where did my ability to scold people go? Seeing that Qingye was not speaking, Yihua said beside Qingye's ear, "Did you forget about the matter that you promised me?" You. Qingye was angered to the point that she hammered Yihua's chest with her small fists, while Yihua hugged onto Qingye's waist and brought her upstairs, leaving behind the stupefied Qing Yutong. That's it. Big sister is too weak, coaxing her with just a few words? Just a moment ago, they were still trying to kill each other. These two people are both weirdos. Looking at the 10 kilograms crayfish in front of her, Qingye was a bit absent-minded. This shameless scoundrel. He actually wanted me to help him peel 10 kilograms crayfish, and I even agreed to it. Looking at my tender and delicate hands, after peeling 10 kilograms of crayfish, even my hands will be gone. Yihua sat like a big boss. Looking at Qingye's helpless look, he felt very happy in his heart. I suddenly discovered that this woman is actually able to affect my emotions. This is too strange. Qing Yutong wore her gloves, drank a mouthful of fruit juice first, then looked at the two weirdos in front of her and asked, "Why aren't you two taking action?" "I won't be polite then." Towards the sister-in-law, Yihua let her be, but Qingye was different. As my woman, the mother of my child, in the future, Qingye will be the biggest woman in the world. If I don't teach her properly now, how am I going to bring her out to see the world in the future? It would be good if I don't throw away all of my face. Big sister, what are you daydreaming for? This crayfish is not bad. It's super delicious. Qing Yutong discovered that with brother-in-law as a link, the relationship between her and big sister seemed to have become better. This is really strange. Chapter 30. Looking at how her big sister didn't even eat the food, and gave all the food to her brother-in-law to eat, Qing Yutong was dumbstruck. Were they quarreling just now? Obviously, it was brother-in-law who admitted defeat first. Why did it make it seem like sister was the one who was afraid? Yihua was still very satisfied with Qingye tonight. I feel a bit like someone's wife. Gradually, half of the crayfish was gone. Qingye wrinkled her eyebrows and continued to peel the crayfish. However, right now her fingers were already a little painful. After all, those hands of hers in the past were carefully taken care of. And adding on that her skills in peeling crayfish were not up to par, Chinya was this kind of woman. She would do what she said. No matter how bitter it was, she would still complete her promise. Done. Yihua shouted faintly, then passed the prawn meat in his bowl to Chinya. The stubborn Chinya didn't give Yihua face at all. She picked up the prawn meat and put it back, then continued to peel the prawn meat. Qing Yutong lightly sighed. Big sister is still as stubborn as before. Yihua didn't say anything. He seemed to have discovered another strong point of Chinya. Perhaps Chinya isn't that stupid anymore. Finally, Chinya finished peeling all of the crayfish, and the crayfish meat in Yihua's bowl was filled to the brim. Looking at her fingers that had turned red, Chinya felt very sad as she felt a burning sensation on her fingers. Eat a bit. Yihua passed his bowl to Chinya and said lightly, "At least you have some conscience." Chinya took off her glove, picked up a piece of prawn meat, and placed it into the gravy, stirred it for a bit, then ate it in satisfaction. "This is truly delicious." Yihua silently gazed at Chinya. Just a moment ago, Chinya had a sad look on her face, but after eating a piece of prawn meat, she looked as if she was about to become drunk. Qing Yutong felt that coming here today was the right choice. The two of them were truly too much fun. "Sis, how about we go watch a movie later? Avengers 3, it's super cool." Qing Yutong suggested. "I also really want to go and film the movie, but it's a pity that I don't have a role in it. It's a tragedy. It's not possible to forcefully add a hero into the movie, right?" Chinya, who was eating the prawn, said faintly. "Ask him." "Brother-in-law, let's go." It is very nice to watch. When a big celebrity starts acting coquettishly, no man would be able to resist her. He felt that Chinya's performance today was not bad and should be rewarded, sure. "That's true, big sister. Let's go and prepare. I have to go fully armed," Qing Yutong said excitedly, completely unaware of the fact that Yihua had already tacitly agreed to be the head of the family, and everything that Qing Yutong did had to go through Yihua's approval before she could do anything. Yihua took out a tissue and wiped his mouth, then stood up and sat on the sofa. Today, Qingya was already cleaning the house, and Yihua was feeling extremely gratified in his heart. This is developing in a good direction, and furthermore, after cleaning the house today, Qingya didn't complain at all. "Not bad, not bad." Qingya laughed tenderly in her heart. "Do you think that I have become a lot more obedient? Let me tell you, Yihua, this is all an illusion. Bastard, he actually dared to instruct me to peel so many crayfish. I will definitely take revenge for this." Since his sister-in-law wanted to dress up, Yihua gave up the bedroom and came to the office to smoke. I wonder if that Long Outyin has been dealt with yet. Evidently, it would not be that fast. Although Death Assassin had superb searching abilities, he still needed time, and he did not have Wei Chang's abnormal strength. After continuously smoking 2 cigarettes, Yihua became a bit impatient. "Is there a need to dress up for such a long time? Do you think this is a beauty contest? To actually make me wait for such a long time?" Standing up and leaving the office, Yihua directly pushed open the door and arrived at the bedroom. Qingya could be seen sitting at the side, holding onto a mirror and carefully dressing up. Yihua couldn't help but say, "You are already beautiful enough. Is there a need to dress up for such a long time?" Qingya paused for a moment, then looked at Yihua and said faintly, "Am I really that beautiful?" Yihua wrinkled his brows. This woman likes to ask questions that she already knows the answer to. Don't make me answer such a stupid question. Is this question very stupid? The bathroom door could be seen being opened, and another Qingya walked out. Yihua was a bit surprised. After taking a look at the 2 Qingya, I am actually unable to differentiate them with my naked eyes. This Qing Yutong is not bad. However, what I can be sure of is that this Qingya who came out from the bathroom is the real Qing Yutong, and the one who put on makeup is Qing Yutong. Just now, when Qingya was going to the bathroom, she heard the conversation outside. "This fellow said that I am beautiful. At least you are tactful. You even know how to say a few nice words. But thinking about how my little sister put on makeup to look like me again, my head hurts." In actuality, the 2 sisters do have some degree of similarity. Both of them have a height of 1.75 m, and their body figures are about the same as well. adding on that Qing Yutong's makeup skills are able to pass off as the real Qing Yutong. Even Yihua was fooled, let alone other people. Right now when the two of them stand together, they look just like the same person. Qing Yutong even had to imitate their hairstyle and clothes. Simple ponytail, white t-shirt, slim-fitting jeans. Pure yet not sexy, especially the height of the two women, which created a pair of extremely long and beautiful legs. It was simply blinding. Yihua discovered that this Qing Yutong's acting skills were indeed not bad, to be able to imitate even Qing Ye's expression. If he really wanted to find a difference, then he could only look at the curve of the chest. Qing Ye's chest was normal, while Qing Yutong's chest was more well-developed. If not, it would really be very hard to differentiate them, unless he used his ability. "Why are you pretending to look like me again?" Qing Ye shouted at her little sister. "When I was studying, my little sister always liked to pretend to look like me and do evil things. And in the end, I would have to take the blame. My little sister is simply too bad." Qing Yutong immediately smiled, and her composure immediately collapsed. Holding on to her big sister's arm, she said cutely, "Big sister, we are sisters. It is normal for us to look alike. If not, even if I put on makeup, it would still be useless. Moreover, if I don't pretend to look like big sister, who else can I pretend to look like?" Speaking up to here, Qing Yutong became a bit sorrowful. The acting skills of a movie queen came again. Although Qing Ye didn't really like this little sister, at the very least, she was still a little sister, and they were related by blood. Just this once. Enbo, Qing Yutong gave a kiss to Qing Ye. Qing Ye felt very uncomfortable. She discovered that her little sister had changed a lot after coming back this time. Yihua looked at the two beautiful sisters fooling around indifferently. There was not a bit of ripple in his heart, even if he was facing such an erotic scene. "Let's go," Yihua said indifferently. "I don't like to drag things out." Qing Ye shouted out, "We are all not in a hurry. What are you, a grown man, being in a hurry for?" Yihua did not speak. "I really don't want to quarrel with this woman. It will only pull down my IQ." Right now, it was 7 p.m. According to the situation in the past, leisure bar would have gradually become popular. But when Yihua took a look today, at least half of the customers were gone. "What's going on? Could it be that I am being targeted by someone?" Seeing the boss appear, all of the women that were sitting at the bar exclaimed in admiration endlessly. "The boss is so handsome." However, when they saw the pair of beautiful sisters coming down from upstairs, their faces that were still exclaiming in admiration just a moment ago immediately darkened. In the past, the boss was alone. Although there was no hope, at least there was still hope. Right now, the boss is smitten with the pair of beautiful sisters, and furthermore, seeing such beautiful sisters for the first time, they immediately did not have the mood to continue staying here. In just a few seconds, the 4 to 5 women left, and they even snorted coldly. Chapter 31. Qing Ye could be seen walking forward, hugged onto Yihua's arm and said, "My dear, let's go quickly." Seeing that, Qing Yutong immediately understood her big sister's intention. She wants to cause trouble and make brother-in-law go bankrupt. Interesting. Qing Yutong also hugged onto Yihua's other arm and said softly, "Brother-in-law, let's go quickly. It is going to start soon." In just a moment, more than 10 women could be seen turning around and walking away, leaving behind only 3 customers. From their expressions, it seems like they are only here to get drunk. Wei Chong sighed. "If this goes on, I will really go bankrupt." The waiters and security guards in the bar were also helpless. Ever since the boss openly brought women back, the business had not been that good. And now, he brought 2 women back at once. And they were even twins. How could others not be angry? After all, the women who came here to drink were all here for the boss. Looking at the boss and the twins, Tang Wei's heart had already calmed down a lot, seemingly no longer infatuated with the boss. Turning her head and looking at Wei Chong, she felt that Uncle Wei was much more amiable than the boss, considerate and caring, and also a handsome uncle type. Satisfied? Yihua said gravely. Qing Ye and Qing Yutong immediately let go of Yihua's arm, And as if nothing had happened, they walked forward with large strides. In the past, just Qingye alone was already troublesome enough, and now, there is also a sister-in-law. I feel that she is not a good person either. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have let her come. Qingye did not make a mistake this time. Having more beds is not that simple. Coming to the outside of leisure bar, Yihua looked around. In the past, the bar would be packed with people at this time, and now, it is actually so bleak. Qingye secretly took a glance at Yihua, feeling great from head to toe. I will anger you bastard to death. Do you really think that I am easy to mess with? Let me peel crayfish. I will make you go bankrupt. Drive. Qingye said to her little sister, and Qing Yutong spread out her hands. The two sisters sat at the front, while Yihua sat at the back like a big boss. Wanting to teach Qingye a good lesson is simply too difficult. This is really a headache. I didn't expect that there would be a day where I would be troubled over a woman. 10+ minutes later, everyone arrived at the All Things shopping center. Inside, there was a one-stop service of eating, drinking and playing. All Things Cinema was also a high-end cinema. A movie ticket cost around 100 RMB. To ordinary consumers, it was really a luxury. However, this time, Avengers 3 was screening, and for the sake of pursuing high-quality enjoyment, a lot of people came here to watch it. If it wasn't for Qing Yutong having booked the tickets online in advance, it was reckoned that there wouldn't be any seats left. When Yihua brought Qingye and Qing Yutong and appeared in the shopping mall, everyone stopped their footsteps and revealed a look of shock in their eyes. Because this pair of twins looked too alike, it was as if they were the same person. And the important point was that they were very beautiful. With a model-like height of 1.75 meters, she was destined to have a pair of long and beautiful legs that could be used for a lifetime. Although her clothes were ordinary, her overall temperament was excellent. It had to be said that she was too dazzling. What was even more eye-catching was the man. His temperament was a bit cold. Although there were beautiful women beside him, there was no trace of pride in his eyes. It was as if everything was natural, as if it was a great honor for these two women to be by his side. This combination of attractiveness was really unparalleled. Men looked at beautiful women, and women looked at handsome men. They did not interfere with each other. The three of them directly arrived at All Things Cinema, and there were quite a lot of people waiting to enter the cinema. Qingye said to her sister, "Let's collect the tickets and buy snacks." Qing Yutong pursed her lips. "Big sister, when did you become lazy? Learn from your brother-in-law. When you are not here, these jobs will be done by me. When you are here, these jobs will be done by you. Of course, you can also go and live in a hotel." Qingye spread out her hands and said helplessly. Qingye wants to chase Qing Yutong away. However, chasing Qing Yutong away is also good. Qing Yutong is not someone who is easy to deal with, and furthermore, she is also Qingye's little sister, so I won't really do anything to her. No, why would I care about the relationship between humans? After hearing that, Qing Yutong opened up her sexy little mouth, pointed at the two people and said, "Big sister, brother-in-law, you too. How can you two bully a little girl like this? There are a lot of people queuing up, quickly go and come back quickly. I want Sprite and popcorn." Yihua said faintly, "I want Coke and popcorn." Qingye imitated Yihua's tone and said. Qing Yutong's face was filled with disbelief, and after holding it in for a long time she said, "You guys are truly arrogant." Yihua and Qingye did not pay attention to Qing Yutong, and found a seat to sit down. Qing Yutong, who was unwilling to give up, came in front of Yihua, and stretched out her hand. "What is it?" Yihua asked. "You need money to buy things, give me money." Qing Yutong said angrily. "No, look for your big sister. Don't look at me. I didn't bring any money, look for your brother-in-law." Qingye immediately dispelled her little sister's thoughts. When did my little sister's temper become so good? Yihua wrinkled his brows. As a woman, you don't even bring any money when you go out. As a man, you don't even bring any money when you go out. Qingye replied coldly. Seeing that the two of them were about to start quarreling again, Qing Yutong gave in. "You two don't quarrel. I will buy it all right." Yihua and Qingye snorted coldly. Neither of them paid attention to the other. Qing Yutong, who was queuing up to buy things, was very gloomy. I am a famous movie empress. And in the morning, I was still being chased after by a group of fans. And right now, I actually became an errand boy. This contrast is a bit big, but it is very interesting. Brother-in-law is a man who doesn't walk the normal path. And big sister's change is even more extraordinary. As if she has changed into a different person. Could it be that pregnant is really 3 years of stupidity? After waiting for more than 10 minutes, Qing Yutong finally completed the task without any mishaps. My lords, these are your things. Yi Hua took a look at Qingya, and the latter immediately understood what he meant. To even let me insert a straw. Do you have to be so lazy? Do you still want to live happily or not? Qing Yutong didn't understand. I have already bought things back. Why do the two of you still have this kind of expression on your faces? We must be enemies in our previous lives, right? Looking at Yi Hua's threatening expression, Qingya was very unhappy. However, there were a lot of people here, so I will give him a bit of face and properly teach him a lesson when we go back. Stretching out his hand and inserting the straw into the Sprite, Yi Hua's expression eased up. Qing Yutong, who was at the side, almost spat out the drink she was drinking. So there is actually such a thing. Did big sister have some blackmail on brother-in-law? Why is big sister so obedient? 8:10 p.m. Avengers 3 can enter the venue. 8:10 p.m. Avengers 3 can enter the venue. 8:10 p.m. Avengers 3 can enter the venue. After the broadcast rang for 3 times, they were finally able to enter the venue. Qing Yutong was in high spirits, while Yi Hua and Qingya were very calm, seemingly not very interested, especially Yi Hua. Needless to say, Yi Hua sat in the middle like a big boss, while Qingya and Qing Yutong sat at the sides, looking just like a princess. Of course, that was under Yi Hua's contrast. Chapter 32. Especially Thanos' gloves, and those gem combinations. Could they really achieve such an effect? To actually be able to exterminate half of the people in the entire universe. To be honest, under the situation where Yi Hua didn't borrow the help of items, Yi Hua wouldn't be able to do it. At the very most, with the snap of his fingers, he would be able to exterminate everyone on Earth. Touching onto the ring on his finger, there are a few pairs of gloves, and a few chests of various kinds of gems inside. I wonder if I will be able to achieve the same effect by matching the gems in the movie. Yi Hua expressed that he was very curious about it. If I am bored one day, I can give it a try. Damn, Thanos really made a move. This is too powerful. Qing Yutong, who was at the side, cried out in surprise, then hurriedly drank a mouthful of a beverage to suppress her shock. Yi Hua said faintly, "So, if I don't act cool, we are still husband and wife." Qingya discovered that right now, the thing that she liked to do the most was to diss Yi Hua. Right now, Yi Hua seemed to be a bit immune to Yi Hua's temper, and he wouldn't get angry so quickly. Yi Hua said faintly, "Ignorant. You sure know how to act well. If I didn't know better, I would have thought that you are a demon king." Qingya pouted her mouth and said with a look of disdain. Yi Hua turned his head around and looked towards Qingya, then said evilly, "You really guessed correctly. Move your face away, it's too big. The entire screen is blocked." Qingya pushed Yi Hua, and the latter smiled and continued watching the movie. After watching the movie, Yi Hua suddenly wanted to meet this Slayer tyrant. At the very least, there was no problem with his IQ. It was a pity that all of his subordinates were extremely sick. Wei Chang and Lai Gu were still considered to be alright, but the other 5 had practically reached the twisted stage. However, there was nothing to say about their strength. I'm really curious what they're doing now, but I'm sure it's definitely not anything good. It's too good to watch. I'm really looking forward to Avengers 4. From the looks of it, Qing Yutong was still a Marvel fan. Her expectant eyes were really unbearable. Yi Hua and Qingya didn't express their opinions and walked on their own. I thought that they were passers-by A and passers-by B. This caused Yi Hua to be very displeased, and he questioned, "Why are you moving so far away from me?" "I like it. It's none of your business." Qingya was doing this on purpose. Gradually, she discovered that Yi Hua's desire to control himself was quite strong. As long as I continue to act in this direction, I will definitely be able to see Yihua getting angry. So handsome, come over. Yihua shouted out gravely. Qingye snorted. If I come over just because you asked me to, it would be very embarrassing for me. A few black lines immediately appeared on Yihua's forehead. Just who is the one that made who lose face? Add one more word in front, and maybe I'll consider it. A smart woman would always leave some leeway for a man. She would not add fuel to the fire. After all, both of them were building a relationship for the unborn child. Neither of them wanted the child to be born without a father or mother. As for the divorce, both of them were well aware of it. If you don't say it, I don't say it. When the time comes, they will not divorce, but who knows what the result will be. Hearing Qingye's words, Yihua laughed from anger. This woman is truly audacious. Wifey, come here. Although he added 2 words, his tone was still arrogant. Qingye didn't take it to heart. It's just that, I don't know exactly who will be the one to teach who well. After getting slightly closer to Yihua, Yihua immediately felt his waist tighten. This fellow is actually hugging onto me and taking advantage of me. Let go of me. Qingye shouted while blushing. Yihua firmly held onto Qingye's willow waist to prevent this foolish woman from doing the things that he hated. Qing Yutong followed behind and pondered attentively. These 2 people, if I didn't guess wrongly, there must be something wrong with their brains. And only I can be considered as a normal person. Brother-in-law, let's go and play video games. Qing Yutong shouted. Yihua took a look, childish. 5 minutes later, the 3 arrived at the shopping mall's arcade. Yihua generously took out his WeChat and paid the bill. And Qing Yutong gave him a thumbs up. What he used was my money. Qingye suddenly added a sentence. Yihua was very unhappy. Will you die if you don't speak? Will you die if you don't hug onto my waist? Qingye immediately retorted back. Qing Yutong shook her head. These 2 retards, arriving in front of the dance machine. Qing Yutong was already standing on it. That charming figure of hers immediately attracted the cheers of a group of perverts. Let go of me, Qingye said coldly. What are you doing? Nonsense, of course I'm going to play. Qingye revealed out a look of you are an idiot. Don't you come to the arcade to play? I remember that when I was young, I played dance machines together with my little sister. But because of one thing, the 2 of us fell out. Yihua said faintly, you are not allowed. I'm afraid that you will jump my child out. Yihua said gravely, how can this woman be so stupid? Qingye was also startled. Luckily Yihua reminded me, if I were to jump my child out of the dance machine, I would even have the heart to die. I almost forgot that I am still a pregnant woman. Seeing that Qingye did not resist, Yihua let go of his hand and took out a cigarette from his pocket. Can you not smoke in front of me? It is not good for the child. If you want to smoke, go outside. Qingye said displeasedly, how can a pregnant woman breathe in second-hand smoke? Yihua paused for a moment, then stuffed the cigarette back into the box and said calmly, all right. The 2 stood together and looked at Qing Yutong, who was jumping around on the dance machine. As expected of an actress, her dancing posture is indeed impressive, incomparably sexy. That flirtatious look of hers attracted a large group of perverts to scream. Qingye's expression was cold. Her little sister's current actions were completely slandering me. Who knows which reporter might see it and report it carelessly. Qing Yutong, who was drenched in sweat, still did not seem to be satisfied. And Qingye couldn't help but shout out, enough, it is time to go back. Qing Yutong pouted her small mouth. I know that big sister is angry right now. It is not easy for me to indulge myself for once. Forget it. I will dress up as big sister again next time to come and play. Hey, beautiful lady. Why are you not dancing anymore? Dance another song. A few youngsters could be seen walking out from the crowd with cigarettes in their mouths, with their heads held high and their chests puffed out, striding with their feet splayed outwards. This kind of attitude and pace was simply asking for a beating. There were still people discussing amongst the crowd. I have a friend who also used this kind of walking posture in the past. And right now, the grass on his grave is already 2 meters tall. What a coincidence. I have a friend who also used this kind of walking posture. He stayed there until his wife remarried. This kind of walking posture is trending this year. It is commonly known as the mouth cannon walking posture. It is very cool. Yihua missed this kind of feeling very much. So much so that a long time ago, there was a human genius level expert who walked arrogantly to exterminate me. Although his walking posture was cool, there was something wrong with his brain. And in the end, he ended up in Wei Chang's stomach. Thinking back to the scene on that day, it was really funny. It was almost the same as now. What are you laughing at? Qingye asked curiously. Although Yihua always makes me angry, when he smiles, he is really very good-looking and very charming. I wonder who my child will look like when he is born. I will find out after 9 months. Yihua kept away his smile and said faintly, recalling the things in the past. Chapter 33. Tell me about it. Qingye asked curiously. If you change your bad habits, I'll tell you. Who has more bad habits? Speak clearly to me. Qingye felt that her and Yihua were definitely not on good terms, and they would definitely quarrel after just a few sentences of conversation. Qing Yutong was also drunk. There is a little scoundrel coming to take liberties with me. And you two actually only care about quarreling, and don't care about the other party. What kind of sister was this? What kind of brother-in-law was this? Someone is bullying me. Qing Yutong couldn't help but interrupt. If not, they would definitely ignore her. Yihua silently took a look at her. If I bully you, then fight back. Is there even a need for me to teach you something like this? Yeah, didn't you learn kung fu? Can't you handle a few punks? Qingye said faintly. When I was young, my younger sister was already a little tyrant. Don't be fooled by her gender. When she fights, she is even more ferocious than boys. You. Qing Yutong was angered to the point that she didn't know what to say. These two are simply a perfect match. When they coordinate with each other, they can infuriate people to death. Qing Yutong turned her head around and looked towards the 3 scoundrels, and Qing Yutong became angry. It's fine if I am bullied by the 2 of them, but the 3 of you came as well. A bunch of trash. Do you really think this lady is a weak woman? Qing Yutong's aura could be seen changing, and a faint killing intent could be seen emitting out from her entire body. As expected of a shadow empress, to be able to even imitate killing intent, Yihua had to give her a thumbs up. The hooligan's mind was a little confused, and he hurriedly said, Miss, calm down. Hold your sister. Qing Yutong exploded. Her small fists directly smashed onto the stomach of the delinquent, and the latter fell onto the ground like a cooked shrimp. Seeing this, the 2 lackeys behind him didn't know what to do. It was clearly the boss who went to tease others. How did he get hit by the girl? This didn't make sense. Qing Yutong did not have the intention to stop, and only after kicking the other 2 people to the ground did she stop. The surrounding people couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This seemingly delicate beauty was actually so ruthless. 3 men weren't her match, and from the looks of it, she didn't even use her full strength. Truly amazing. Yihua said, not bad. You became even more powerful. Qingye praised. Qing Yutong really wanted to give each of them a punch. It's easier said than done. Who's making trouble here? A 2-meter-tall burly man could be seen walking out from within the crowd. His arm was even thicker than Qingye's thigh, and when he stood up, he was like a small mountain. With a ferocious look on his face, the people who were watching the show couldn't help but retreat a bit. Yihua let out a breath and walked out. The 2 sisters went into a daze for a moment. With those small arms and legs of yours, you shouldn't stick your head out, right? If you were to injure any part of your body, wouldn't you still have to take care of it yourself? However, Yihua was also thinking like this. If Qing Yutong's bones were to be fractured, I and Qingye would also be responsible for it. At that time, it would be troublesome for Qing Yutong to be hospitalized and so on. Thus, I might as well do it myself. Walking to the front of the man who was like a small hill, Yihua let out a breath. It has been 5 years since I last hit someone. This time, When I hit someone, I definitely have to control my strength well, and not beat him to death. Brother-in-law, quickly come back. Your arms aren't even as thick as other people's legs. Qing Yutong placed both of her hands at the side of her mouth and shouted, seemingly as if she was afraid that other people didn't know what was happening. Following Qing Yutong's shout, everyone knew that this man was the beautiful woman's brother-in-law, and the other woman was the wife. This man's luck with women is not shallow, but to meet such a huge figure, I feel that I am going to be hung up and beaten. Don't try to show off, quickly come back. Qingye couldn't help but shout out. Yihua's heart was bleeding. These two ignorant women actually looked down on me like this. Brat, your wife is asking you to go home and eat. Bang. Yihua placed both of his hands into his pockets. What are you looking at? Go home. The two sisters did not even see clearly what happened. And before the burly man could finish speaking, he was already sent flying out and smashed onto a machine. Fuck, what did that man do just now? Don't know, I only saw the burly man being sent flying out. Too formidable, his punches are actually so fast. Qing Yutong was dumbstruck. I didn't expect that her brother-in-law would also be an expert among the commoners. Qing Yutong hurriedly shouted, brother-in-law, wait for me. And this was also the first time that Qingye saw Yihua's martial strength, and she had a lingering fear in her heart. If that punch was on my body, then prepare to pinch my philtrum. In the office on the second floor, the manager on duty witnessed the entire process and hurriedly made a phone call. Master, I discovered a strange man. He sent the mountain flying with a single punch. There was no exclamation of surprise from the phone, and the manager said indifferently, go and check it out then. All right, master. The three sat on the Audi A8, and Qing Yutong kept on asking various kinds of questions, causing Yihua to be very irritated. That punch just now was not bad. The strength was controlled very well. I only used 0.1% of my strength, and it was able to achieve a deterrent effect, and no one died. Comfortable. In the future, I will just use this kind of strength. Brother-in-law, how did you do it? Teach me. Qingye, who was driving, said, your brother-in-law likes to act cool, especially in front of beautiful women. Yihua glared at Qingye, then looked at Qing Yutong and said, I'm not free. Brother-in-law, Qing Yutong let out that charming voice. Qingye was in a bad mood just by listening to it. You are trying to seduce your brother-in-law. Speak properly. Qingye reprimanded coldly. Qing Yutong clicked her tongue. Crazy wife who is protective of her husband. Qing Yutong angrily leaned on the side and sulked. The two of them teamed up to bully me. Looking at the supper stall outside, she said, I want to eat supper. You ate so much just now, and you are still able to eat. Qingye, who was driving, was speechless. I want it. Qing Yutong actually acted shamelessly. This made Yihua doubt his own judgment. This is completely like a child that hasn't grown up. How is this a mature woman? Qingye is still much better. Qingye had no choice but to stop the car by the roadside, and the three of them sat at a barbecue stall by the roadside. In front of the barbecue stall, there was even a worn-out television that was playing the news. So comfortable, Qing Yutong said comfortably. The summer breeze by the riverside felt very comfortable, just like giving a face massage. Yihua remained silent. Compared to their beauty, Yihua preferred to watch the news report more. Brother-in-law, why are you staring at me like that? Big sister will misunderstand. Although it is said that half of a sister-in-law's but belongs to brother-in-law. But brother-in-law, aren't you being too open and above-board like this? Qing Yutong said bashfully. She acted very well, and she even touched her own face shyly. Yihua said faintly, move aside a bit, block me from watching the news. Puchi. Qingye couldn't help but laugh, and Qing Yutong's face darkened. Brother-in-law, this scoundrel. According to the news from our station, a fire broke out in a castle on the outskirts of London today, causing the castle to collapse. Fortunately, there were no casualties. Qing Yutong sighed. For such a big castle to collapse, there was actually no casualties. This is too mystical. Qingye turned her head around and took a look. I reckon that there was no one living there. Only Yihua knew why there were no casualties, because those people were all in Wei Chang's stomach. Chapter 34. Very soon, all the grilled fish and grilled meat were served. Yihua crossed his arms over his chest and looked at the two women in front of him. Yu Tong, as your brother-in-law, I have the obligation to teach you how to be a woman. Yihua said gravely with a serious look on his face. Since she is my sister-in-law, I will be magnanimous and teach her a lesson. Qingye rolled her eyes. This fellow is doing it again. Brother-in-law, in that case, can you teach me? Qing Yutong asked curiously. She was completely unaware that the content of what she was going to teach would cause people to collapse. Yihua felt that it was much easier to teach his sister-in-law. First of all, you have to obey a man's orders. Things like peeling skewers is something that you have to do. On this point, you have to learn from your sister. Qingye indeed peeled a skewer of barbecued meat and placed it into Yihua's bowl, to prevent him from finding a reason to flip out again. Qing Yutong paused for a moment, then said earnestly, Brother-in-law, can we talk properly? Come, try it and you'll know. Your sister was very resistant at first, but now she's used to it. Qing Yutong pulled onto Qingye heavily. Big sister, there is a problem with brother-in-law's way of thinking. He wants to groom me into becoming the second wife. Originally, Qingye thought that Yihua was joking, and after hearing what her little sister said, killing intent shot out from Qingye's beautiful eyes. I am teaching her, Yihua said in displeasure. What kind of expression is that, to actually dare to doubt me? But why should I explain? Don't put that weird theory of yours on my little sister's head. Eat your food, Qingye said coquettishly. Forget about harming me. You even want to harm my own little sister. That's right, that's right. Brother-in-law is so bad, he has the same thoughts as Long Aotian. Sister, you have to be careful. Yihua felt that he had been stabbed with a knife. I educated her out of goodwill. And not only did she not appreciate my kindness, she even tried to frame me, and even compared me with that Long Aotian. Yihua felt that his lungs were about to explode from anger. Looking at her brother-in-law's handsome face that was flushed red from anger, Qing Yutong peeled off a skewer of pork ribs, then said fawningly, Brother-in-law, don't be angry, sister-in-law. I was just joking just now. Seeing that his sister-in-law's attitude of admitting her mistake wasn't bad, Yihua didn't pursue the matter further. You have to learn properly. Yes, 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 I will learn, Qing Yutong said helplessly. Brother-in-law is truly a weirdo. At this moment, another report was heard on the television. According to this station's news, there was a tsunami in Southeast Asia this afternoon. One person has died, 56 people are missing, and more than 300 people are injured. The tsunami this time was extremely sudden, and the local weather bureau said that they had no idea. The three of them paused for a moment, not paying too much attention. However, everyone didn't know that this was the result of Lai Gu's unintentional roar. Yihua slowly put down his chopsticks, straightened the chopsticks, then took out a napkin and wiped his mouth. His movements were smooth and skillful, causing the two sisters to be extremely puzzled. To be able to eat so elegantly even when eating barbecue, and to even straighten the chopsticks after finishing eating. Does he have obsessive-compulsive disorder? Let's leave after eating, Yihua said lightly. The two sisters were already full, and the three of them sat on the car and returned back to Leisure Bar. Meanwhile, the young man who was at the barbecue stall had not left yet. He took out his phone and tried to contact someone, but he was unable to get through. When he returned to Leisure Bar, it was already 11 o'clock. However, there wasn't a single soul in Leisure Bar. Yihua's face immediately collapsed. Qingye and Qing Yutong were feeling great, and they walked up the stairs while holding hands. Qingye even shouted out complacently, Yihua, quickly come up the stairs, brother-in-law. Hurry up, Qing Yutong blurted out, and immediately caused Qingye's head to explode. To even dare to take liberties with brother-in-law. The security guards and waiters of the bar were all stupefied. The boss had really flown up to the sky. He actually had two beauties in his arms. And the key point was that they were twins. Too valiant. Too powerful. Just that, the price to pay is a bit big. A business like Leisure Bar is probably the prelude to bankruptcy. Yihua wasn't really angry. He just felt that Qingye was disobeying him like this. This can't do. I have to make her listen to me. And also that sister-in-law. I have to quickly chase her away. After mixing a small glass of wine and drinking it, Yihua slowly walked up the stairs. Just that, the bedroom was actually occupied by 2 women. How could Yihua endure it? This sister-in-law of his is too outrageous. Brother-in-law, I don't have a place to sleep. Seeing that Yihua was preparing to deliver the goods, Qing Yutong straightforwardly hugged onto her big sister and begged for mercy. Go and sleep in the office, Yihua said gravely. Qing Yutong said pitifully. Don't want. Yihua looked towards Qingye, seemingly saying that if you don't persuade me, don't blame me for being ruthless. Qingye pouted her mouth and did not say anything. In any case, I will be happy if Yihua is angry, and I reckon that he will be happy if I am angry as well. I will go and take a bath. If you are still on my bed when I come out, then you can just wait for your big sister to send you a condom. Yihua said coldly. If you force me into a corner, I will get rid of you in front of your big sister. In front of the 2 beauties, Yihua showed off his figure a bit, then walked into the bathroom. TSK, who are you trying to scare? Qing Yutong said in disdain. Just that, in her heart, she was a bit afraid. Qingye leaned against the headboard of the bed and looked at the financial news, then said faintly, If you don't leave, your brother-in-law will really dare to. I don't believe it. At worst, big sister, you can go and help me buy a condom. Qing Yutong's mouth was very firm, and she had a fearless look on her face. Qingye turned her head and said, We don't wear condoms. Qing Yutong felt that she was going to go crazy. Ah, you 2 perverts, I am leaving. Qing Yutong, who was flustered and exasperated, directly slammed the door and ran to the office to sleep. These 2 people are simply rotten to the core. 5 minutes later, Yihua walked out of the bathroom while wiping his hair, revealing his sexy muscles. His muscles were not big, but it gave people a feeling that he was very explosive. Exhibitionist, Qingye took a glance and said in disdain, When is your little sister going to leave? Qingye laughed in ridicule. Didn't you say that you are going to get an extra bed? What, are you regretting it now? Yihua did not speak and crawled into the blanket, and Qingye pushed the blanket outwards, seeming to dislike Yihua a lot. There is a bed in the office, you can also go over there and sleep. Seeing Qingye's action, Yihua was very unhappy. I didn't even dislike you, and yet you still dislike me. I'm not going. Qingye snorted. Yihua could be seen immediately flipping over and pressing Qingye under his body, and the latter was scared to the point that her soul was about to leave her body. Do you still want to experience the happiness of that night? Yihua stared at that pair of beautiful eyes and asked carefully. Upon thinking back to that night, Qingye's gaze started drifting. What are you doing? Aren't you going to let me sleep? You have been staying on my bed all along. Don't you want to experience it again? Go to hell. Why are your thoughts so dirty? Right at this moment, the bedroom door was opened, and Qing Yutong looked at the 2 people on the bed with a face full of surprise. I just left, and they are already unable to endure their hunger and thirst. That. I am here to look for a blanket, Qing Yutong said while stammering, then immediately closed the door. Her little heart was thumping madly, so passionate. Yihua said gravely, She did it on purpose. Who asked you to call her over? Don't press on me. Don't you know that you are very heavy? Qingye said angrily. Chapter 35. Who would be willing to hug you, narcissist? Qingye hugged onto the quilt tightly and turned her back towards Yihua. Remember to switch off your phone. It is already switched off. Remember to wake up early tomorrow to buy breakfast. Got it. Don't pant while sleeping. Yihua, do you want to fight with me? Don't think that I am afraid of you. Switch off the light, sleep. Yihua said calmly. He had already laid down, closed his eyes and ignored Qingye. angering Qingye to the point that she wanted to strangle Yi Hua to death. After switching off the bedside lamp, Qingye let out a sigh of relief and caressed her stomach with both of her hands. My baby, in order to give birth to you, Mom really suffered a lot. Your dad doesn't even care about your mom at all. He doesn't even let me hug him once. And Mom is already used to hugging things to sleep at night, bastard. In Yangshan City, which was at the border of Long City, a BMW M6 sped on the suburban road. The driver was a young and beautiful woman. Her looks were excellent. Her figure was also curvaceous. She was a rare beauty. Sitting beside her was Long Outyin, who used the burrow talisman. It must be said that this was a perfect encounter. Long Outyin has to thank those hoodlums, if not, he wouldn't have had such a romantic encounter. Furthermore, this Gu Tiantian's background is not small too. Yangshan City's famous Gu family, although not as perverted as Qing family, it is still the #1 enterprise in the south. To be a member of my Long Outyan's harem, she has reached the standard. Tian, you should believe me now, right? Long Outyin said complacently. Just a while ago, I went to Gu Tiantian's house and conveniently showed off. My medical skills shocked them to the point that they were dumbstruck, and that quack was chased out of Gu family. Seems like I am still very strong. What happened at Qing family today was just an accident. And the gaze that Gu Tiantian's parents looked at me with was as if they were looking at their future son-in-law. That feels great. A man with ability will be discovered no matter where he goes. I, Long Outyin, can only blame myself for being too outstanding. Don't look at Gu Tiantian's aloof appearance. In actuality, her heart had already secretly agreed long ago. Right now, she was just maintaining a woman's modesty. In just a few days, I will be able to take her down and make her a member of my harem. Tian, I'm fine, right? Long Outyin chuckled. He looked like a gentleman, but in truth, he was full of evil tricks. Gu Tian scoffed. Don't think that I'll let bygones be bygones just because you cured my dad. I appeared by accident. Do you want me to take a look for you? Shameless, Gu Tian cursed in embarrassment. Look, and you still say you're not moved? Your little face is already red. Women. Qingye, you will definitely regret it. You're not the only woman in this world. There's a whole forest waiting for me, Long Outyin. Tian, Uncle just said that we should have a good conversation. You see, I don't have anywhere to go. Your house is so big, can you give me a room? Gu Tian said coquettishly. Long Outyin, can you not be so shameless? You made my dad think that we have a relationship. There is indeed a relationship. I've already seen you. If we were in ancient times, I would marry no one but you. I'm going to kill you, ha ha ha. Long Outyin was feeling great in his heart. This is the tempo. Who knows, I might be able to settle it tonight. TSK. Outstanding men are always like this. Chasing a girl is just a matter of hooking my finger. However, just as Long Outyin was feeling complacent, his entire body suddenly leaned forward. The sound of tires rubbing against the ground rang out beside his ears. Luckily I had fastened my seatbelt. If not, my entire body would have flown out. Rubbing his forehead, Long Outyin asked, Tian, why did you brake so anxiously? I know that you hate me, but isn't this a little too exaggerated? Panic appeared in Gu Tiantian's eyes. Pointing at the front of the car, she was speechless. Long Outyin looked towards the front of the car and saw a person appearing at the front of the car. The person's entire body was wrapped tightly with a black cloth, and there was a dagger at the person's waist. Tian, did your enemy come looking for you? Long Outyin asked curiously. He didn't put the person in his heart at all. Gu Tian shook her head. What enemy do I have? I didn't cause any trouble. That person might be your family's enemy, but that doesn't matter. Who asked me to be a good person? Not only did I treat your father's illness, I even helped your family to chase away your enemy. Tian, how are you going to thank me? How about you repay me with your body? Long Outyin giggled, appearing to be very relaxed. Seeing Long Outyin's indifferent expression, Gu Tian also relaxed and wasn't that scared anymore. Can you be a bit more serious? Gu Tian pouted. This man is indeed very mystical, but his words are too flowery. I feel that he isn't reliable. Long Out Yin fiddled with his hair. The me right now is definitely serious. Watch how I help you chase away your enemy. You be a bit more careful, Gu Tiantian warned. With the concern of a beauty, no matter how difficult the matter is, I, Long Out Yin, will still not turn back, just to make you smile. Annoying. What time is it already? And you are still saying that? Gu Tiantian was also speechless, but her heart was still warm. Death Assassin stared at the man in the car. I finally found him. Master said that this man is a bit powerful, but why didn't I notice it? Right now, he is still flirting with a woman in the car. Bang! Death Assassin punched onto the hood of the car and hooked his finger at Long Out Yin. The loud sound gave Gu Tiantian a fright. Looking at the dented hood of the car, Gu Tiantian's entire body trembled as she said while shivering, "This person is here to look for you. Quickly get out of the car." Long Out Yin was immediately confused. To think that the person is here to look for me. The power of this punch is not bad, but it is still trash. Just like that quack, the person is here to act cool for me. And then at night, I will be able to hug the beauty. This feels great. A godsend opportunity. Tiantian, don't be afraid. Properly stay in the car. I am here for everything. Long Out Yin kept his smile and said solemnly. The degree of firmness in his tone made Gu Tiantian believe him. And right now, she is completely relying on Long Out Yin. Opening the car door, Long Out Yin took out a stick of cigarette and lit it up. Although I learned this move from someone else, but it feels very good. It feels very cool. Gu Tiantian, who is inside the car, definitely has stars in her eyes. She must be worshipping me. Who are you? Long Out Yin spat out a mouthful of smoke and asked arrogantly. Death Assassin only has thoughts. How can he speak? Death Assassin just stood there and did not speak. Fuck, you are still a mute, forget it. Bullying you is also not a difficult thing. It is better not to let the ladies see such a bloody scene. Let's stand slightly further away. Long Out Yin flicked away the cigarette, but that was in his hand. This action is really handsome. Death Assassin silently followed behind Long Out Yin, appearing to be a bit adorable. Long Out Yin also had the same feeling. This fellow can't be a fool, right? Chapter 36. Hey, you're a killer, right? Tell me, you don't use sneak attacks, but stand in the middle of the road openly. Are you stupid? Death Assassin was a bit impatient. This was the first time he met an enemy that had so many mouths. From the moment he met Death Assassin until now, his mouth had never stopped. Who sent you? Forget it, you won't tell me now anyway. When I beat you until you kneel down, you will naturally tell me. Today I will let you experience the power of my Long Out Yin God Dragon technique. There is no harm in telling you. When I hit this punch, even I myself am afraid. Believe it or not, the reinforced concrete will break into slag. Long Out Yin could be seen shouting loudly. His aura was extremely imposing. He stood in a horse stance, clenched his fists tightly. The muscles on his arms gradually became bigger. The mound under his feet even started to crack a little. Gu Tiantian, who was sitting in the car, was elated. Judging from Long Out Yin's aura, he would definitely be able to defeat the man in black. Death Assassin looked at the trash in front of him and slightly went into a daze. This aura is a bit interesting. Compared to ordinary people, this person is indeed a lot stronger. However, it is only a lot stronger. In my eyes, this person is still a trash. The first form of the Divine Dragon technique. Divine Dragon Fist. Long Out Yin's right fist exuded a faint golden glow, and he punched forward at lightning speed. A sandstorm was stirred up within a 1-meter radius, and Gu Tiantian was dumbfounded. Long Out Yin sneered in his heart. This adorable killer is so scared that he doesn't even know how to hide. That's even better. Watch me smash your body with one punch. Death Assassin was very disappointed and did not want to move anymore. If he were to move even a little bit, he would be humiliating himself. Long Out Yin took a step forward with his right foot, and a few cracks appeared on the ground. Then, he punched out with an imposing manner. Long Outyan's fist passed through the death assassin's body and pierced through the death assassin's heart. Long Outyan said in disdain, "You are only SOSO, and here I thought you were very powerful." Gigi. This strange laughter made Long Outyan swallow his saliva unconsciously. Feeling his arm, it seemed that he had punched the air. But that's not right, I clearly punched through his abdomen. Fall. Why aren't you falling? Shouldn't you be falling? I'm begging you, can't you do it quickly? There's a girl watching. The death assassin did not have a physical body. It only had a body of bones. And Long Outyan's fist only went through the death assassin's clothes. It did not even touch the death assassin's bones. Death assassin could be seen raising his hand, startling Long Outyan. Is he going to surrender? It's too late now. Besides, you have to raise your hands when you surrender. Pa. Long Outyan felt his face contorting. His body floated in the air, and his consciousness was a little blurry. Death Assassin's slap sent Long Outyan flying, and he only stopped after rolling a few times on the grassland. Long Outyan crawled up with difficulty and looked at Death Assassin, who was approaching him step by step. His gaze revealed fear. Who exactly was this person? Although the Divine Dragon Fist had only been trained to the first layer, it was still able to shatter rocks and break bones. Yet nothing happened to him. Instead, he was sent flying by a slap. Could it be that this person was an S-rank expert? But why does he have to come and kill a small character like me? I haven't even grown up yet. That's right. He was afraid that he would grow stronger, so he struck first to gain the upper hand. This person was so vicious. Puff. Long Outyan spat out a mouthful of blood and felt his blood boiling. He was even more afraid of this man in black. In front of him, he was just like a child. Swish. Long Outyan still didn't know what was going on, and a sharp pain came from his arm. Blood violently gushed out, and when he lowered his head to take a look, the wound was so deep that his bones could be seen. Fear spread in Long Outyan's heart. I am completely not a match for him. I can't even catch his movements, let alone counterattack. Gu Tiantian sat in the car and watched nervously. She could only see two black figures together, and she didn't know what was going on. Long Outyan's goal was achieved. He did not let Gu Tiantian see the scene of blood splattering everywhere, and was also able to show off his strength. Just that, everything had changed. Just like what happened at Qing family today. It was happening once again. There's no other way. I still have an Earth Escape talisman. If I don't use it now, I will really be waiting for death. Earth Escape talisman. Death Assassin slashed out with his blade. Just that he missed. Looking at where he was, where did he go? Could it be that he has the ability to teleport? I was really a bit careless. I originally wanted to torture him to death, but from the looks of it now, it would be better for me to report this to my superiors. Gu Tiantian rubbed her eyes. There were two black figures just now. Why did they suddenly disappear? Mustering up her courage, she got off the car and shouted lightly, "Long Outyan? Long Outyan?" Arriving at the place where the two disappeared from just now, Gu Tiantian looked around and was filled with doubt. She could only leave in disappointment. This Long Outyan ran away. Luckily this assassin did not come to look for me. He is really not a man. Long Outyan shouted out that he was wronged. I only temporarily retreated due to injuries. At a remote mountain village, Long Outyan opened his eyes, and a high-spirited voice rang out beside his ears. Exerting himself to open his eyes to take a look, he immediately had the urge to faint. Why isn't it the bathroom? Why is it the pigsty? My God, why am I so unlucky? Who are you? A beautiful young lady could be seen standing outside of the pigsty, and asked curiously. Long Outyan laughed bitterly. I didn't expect that my luck with women still did not change. Meeting with beautiful women unceasingly. The rhythm is still in my hands. Wait till I finish cultivating the dragon god technique. Then I will kill my way back. During this period of time, I will properly develop my relationship with this young lady. Let me faint for a while first. Let the young lady take care of me for a while. Early morning, Yihua slowly opened his eyes. His brows immediately wrinkled, and a moist feeling came from his chest. Lowering his head to take a look, This woman is actually wrapped around me like an octopus. This is simply too outrageous. She doesn't even have any manners when sleeping. And this pool of saliva in front of his chest, this is really annoying. Wake up. Don't mess around. Today is Sunday, let me sleep for a while. Qingya's tone right now carried a hint of acting coquettishly. It was especially comfortable to listen to. At least it was better to listen to than cold words. Yihua did not fall for this. Look at what you have done. Qingya wrinkled her brows impatiently, opened her beautiful eyes to take a look, and discovered that she hugged onto him again, and even left a pool of saliva on his chest. This is too embarrassing, so she braced herself and said, "What is it? What's wrong with me hugging onto my husband to sleep?" Yihua had never seen a woman who could speak nonsense with a straight face, dripping a pool of saliva on his chest, and still acting so righteously. It is already 7 a.m. Quickly get up and go buy breakfast. Yihua's tone became a bit more relaxed, not lowering himself to her level. Qingya basically did not have the intention to get up. "I am pregnant, you have to take care of me." "That is not what you said last night. Women are fickle, you should properly experience it." Qingya hugged onto the blanket and rolled it to the side, acting shamelessly, angering Yihua to the point that his lips were trembling. Why did I end up with such a woman? After getting up and washing up, when he was done, he saw that he was actually still lying on the bed like a corpse. I have no choice but to teach her. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.